Okay then. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Phontomen, and welcome to today's show. Today we are continuing our journey doing the Emperor's Will in Warhammer 40k Boltgun. Honestly, just the main... Yeah, sure, it's old, whatchamacallit, it's all power ballads and whatnot. It just reminds me of fucking Rusty Cage. You know? That's Road Rash, though, which is kind of odd, but that's kind of what it reminds me. That's the mood I'm feeling now, but welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Right, I did put the installer in a separate folder after realizing, oh fuck, I did something wrong, and, it copies the files from the main folder to the specific drive. Yes, but for some reason, the main folder, it says it's missing critical files, and I have no idea what it's missing. So in the act of copying the base Tarkov, something's missing. I don't know what it is. I probably have to reinstall the entire game because I might have fucked something up because I tried to install it to the base Tarkov directory, and that's not what you're supposed to do. However, it takes fucking forever to install Tarkov. The download servers are incredibly shit. Right, their Twitter page is also schizo posting, so that has to be fun. Apparently there's an ARG going on, which is very interesting. But let's get back into our work here. Right. We did save in a corner, but I think the last time when we left off, we were about to finish chapter 2, I think. This feels like the end. I have to say reinstall the main game again. That's probably what I have to do. But funny that we're playing a boomer shooter here, and I was just basically neck deep in lore for another boomer shooter. Fonto, why did you get stuck in marathon lore, as I said during the pre-show? How did that happen, Phonto? Well, it's, you see, it seems odd, but it really isn't. I caught wind of the notion that the security guard, or the marathon guy, as people like to call him of many names, is actually an undead cyborg reanimated with, technology bits to be made into an unholy killing machine. I wonder what I could do with this, Reanimating the dead and jamming technical parts into them to make them super awesome killing machines? I wonder what I, Phontomen, could be doing with this information and detailed summaries. Yeah, so that's why I went looking into there. Ah, there are men over here, though I don't really remember exactly where we were going. I'll find it eventually, I suppose. This game is still immediately fun. As soon as you start playing it, though, which is, I gotta hand it to them. They've done that. They've done that spectacularly. This is like, well, this and Dusk are kind of the apex of the boomer shooter, I suppose. They're the boomer shooter made, with all the modern accoutrements like mouse look and, fancy 3D environments that are actually basically just for gameplay purposes and not to really wow you, but more utilizing the limited art style to create interesting environments. And hey, wait a minute. There wasn't a button for that. But they create interesting things to look at rather than, rather than trying to be amazingly detailed. So this is effectively what the boomer shooters wanted to be back in the Doom days. But unfortunately, limitations and ideas in their infancy, let's call them, stop them from being this good. However, we needed to learn first before we could perfect, I suppose. And you have this, and then you have the Doom and Doom Eternal, which are effectively Doom in, a full 3D engine, and perfected as well. Those are incredibly fun. Also, key. Right, so we need a key. Right, we're missing a key. The purple key. They were hampered by the technology of their time, yes, but you can see Marathon is a very good example of this. You can see that they were absolutely bursting at the seams with fucking ideas. Ideas that were too big for their tech at the time. I didn't know that Marathon Infinity was as much of a thing as Marathon Infinity is, but now I know. However, it was interesting to go in and look at things because, well, again, undead super soldiers. I wonder what I could be doing with that. And also to see the star of the show, the rampant AI, basically being sociopathic assholes and guiding you through, through a story which is told entirely on, terminal screens, which go from, helping you to actively trying to hurt you to rambling poetry. It's a spectacle all its own, too. Hey! They did amazing things considering their restrictions. Yes, they did. And also, one thing. Well, not necessarily, but I played Marathon and... Oh boy, here we go. I played Marathon and I understand now that, yeah, you know the movement systems in Halo? You know how Master Chief has the moon jump and every subsequent Bungie game also has similar physics? That's intentional. It actually dates back to Marathon. It's actually an intentional design decision to make moving through a 3D environment entertaining. So that's why you kind of float. Internally, they call it the dance, which is interesting. So, of the things that I found out. Their movement sounds and, all the gibs sloshing across, across the environment sound the same. So it seems like I'm still surrounded even though there's only a couple of guys left and the rest is body parts. Are you an Ultramarine again? Yes, I live again. The Marathon lore is a fucking confusing mess for a lore junkie like me, but somehow I understand it. Well, there have been many breakdowns and that's kind of what I watched and looked into it. I might play the full games on stream in the run-up to actual Marathon, but see, after looking at the lore, I know they're going to fuck with everything. And hey! Random nurglings getting stuck on the environment. Oh. Brother! I can't articulate my knees, says the Marine, getting having his head stuck on a, like a shelf, trying to reach under it. I can't reach my goal. Ah! Damn it! Damn my infernal unarticulated knees. There should well, maybe there should be a crouch, but I understand why there isn't a crouch. Crouching is that's a modern thing. Crouching? No. That's too advanced. Aim down sights, you're absolutely heretical. I know they dodge, but that's fucking ridiculous. Comedy. I might as well have been hearing a fucking slide whistle while I'm trying to do that. I know the Nurglings dodge the melee, but that's comedic. Which is, I think, entirely intentional. But yeah, so as I found, Marathon lore states that the whole colony that they're doing the new Marathon on was destroyed and everyone died because the Four came back and killed everyone after you left. And as I have found, Bungie's original and also not very original. And hey, what the fuck? Hey! You see, Bungie's been trying to make the same game over and over and over again, and that starts with Marathon. While some things are different, the internal mythos they create is effectively the same thing over and over again, and that's the whole point of Marathon Infinity. It's effectively a cyclic reincarnation of one true hero who is so goddamn awesome, he is a personification of fate itself, and also, I am stuck. Oh no! Oh no! Help me, brother, I am stuck! I'm stuck! Help me, brother, I am pinned! Squad broken! I have found an interesting bug. Okay, I'm gonna actually have to reload a save. That's rather odd. No, wait, hang on here. What if I throw a grenade? Will I get the attention of the nerds in there? I might be able to melee jump out of this. Oh, that's rather odd. I have no idea what has happened, but I believe I may have gotten stuck underneath something I'm not supposed to. Like, I've just went, like, before how I couldn't, you know, reach for the contempt underneath the walkway, I seem to have gotten stuck underneath that ledge, and now I can't get out. Like, I've gotten stuck underneath an invisible wall that's lower than my head, and now I can't move. Odd. No, I'm stuck, you infernal moron. Help me, you stupid talking skull! Okay, yeah, it's about where I started, I think. No, wait a minute. No, wait, no. Wait. Okay, right, yeah, that's the manual save. Okay, that's the save at the start of the game. This is the save now. Or rather, the save where I was a couple of minutes ago rambling about Marathon. No, wait, no, this is where I started. Okay, so this is with the level partially complete. This is where I started my ramble. Great, fantastic. Whoops. Beware of traps. So that's the first actual game-breaking bug, and because this game is, well, it does have an autosave feature. However, as you can see, it didn't save me there. It sent me back to the beginning of the fucking level. We did not lose that much progress, however. It's one room of these morons, and then this room entirely that I delayed going into anyway. It's just this room. That's the only thing we missed. Boltgun. Squish. Liking the Volkite Cavalier, it makes small enemies explode real good, boss. It's very useful for this. Pathfinding issues. Though they probably left that alone for comedic effect. So they get stuck somewhere, like, beforehand, and they ambush you after you think they're all dead. They just get stuck somewhere. But right, as I have seen through Marathon lore and that little deep dive that I did, yeah, Marathon itself became a story that is effectively a reincarnation, or basically a very general thesis on the hero of 1,000 faces, basically? Not quite, but the same idea, and this is why Bungie makes the same game over and over again, effectively, on some level. And that's where I got stuck. But I have corrected the path here. Ah, Melta. I already have full Melta, though. So that was very interesting and also very ahead of its time with the whole understanding that while fate and determinism may not exist in the real world, by playing a video game, you kind of are fate and determinism because they have to be, your success is the end of the game. You have to succeed because you're destined to succeed. The designer, aka God, willed you to. However, you can still fail. However, retries are effectively painless. The only thing you need to do is the will to see Destiny done. And I don't mean Destiny 2. How, you see why they named it that? Ha ha, yee hee ho ho. But that is, you know, a fun observation that they were making even back in the, you know, back in the 90s when first-person shooters were barely a fucking genre. This is determinism. You are an arbiter of fate. You are, in effect, enacting the will of the game designer against the will of any that may stand before you, for motivations be damned. For example, I know that I am, in fact, fated to destroy the, you know, the forces of chaos and ruin their fucking plan, because this game's gotta have an ending. Right? People make this, you know, these sorts of things seem, you know, they see it as a flaw to make, you know, seeing as this is predictable. However, most games attempt to hide that these days. But in the end, they all have to be designed with that kind of mindset. There has to be a situation, there has to be a payoff, you have to succeed in some level, on some level. You and all of your efforts will amount to something. What that is dependent on how edgy the writer feels today. And also, hey, what the fuck is that? Oh, that's the purple key. Ah. So, well, there's no enemy up there, so I can't leap the fuck up there, but I think okay, I think I see what's going on here. We're gonna go around and we're gonna come out there. Because I'm starting to understand this game's level design. It has a habit of leading us down a rabbit hole, and then once we reach the end of that rabbit hole, we come back to a singular hub. I didn't see this hallway. Interesting. We'll go down the other one first. Once we reach the end of a rabbit hole, we are deposited back into an area that's familiar and central to the level. So, I know that the path ahead will bring me to that key, and once I grab that key, I will be back in the central area and know where to go. So this may lead somewhere, and this rabbit hole, literally, may actually lead us to the key. Or more of these goddamn bullet sponges. I probably should have used the melt-a-gun, it's more effective on them. It is a maze, though. Well, that's ominous. I don't know where that goes, but now we're seeing that there are, in fact, you know, exits that we didn't notice because they were above us, because everyone knows gamers don't look up, right? The red key? Data recording protocol. It is a doorway. Well, I need the red key in order to open the door. Okay, interesting. I need the red key to open this doorway. Hey, wait a minute. No, there's a... Well... Aha! Wait a moment. Ah! Well... Not really, because there's no ceiling there. I'm gonna have to step around that. Ah, yes, there's vaulting as well. Right, I forgot there's vaulting. Although, because there's vaulting, I don't have to do... I should have to only... kinda sorta get up there a little bit. Just a bit. Just stand on top of this one little fucking pixel. This one, not really a 3D object, kinda. No. Donk. Well, actually... So what I could do is I could jump to here, and then I could jump to here, or I could do that, which accidentally got me where I wanted to go. There's a Volt Kite clip over there, but let's see here. There we go. Wait, that's just the same fucking area. Wait, that was an entirely waste. That was an entire waste of time. That's literally just this tunnel over here. This goes one way and that huh? Interesting. This just leads you back into the same room, and that's just going back to the same area a different way. Odd. What, did you run past the ambull like a weenie and don't want to fight it anymore? Okay, so this is the only unique path. There's that other path that apparently deposits back into that area, but we'll see about that. What's down here? Ah! It's right where I was the other way, so it has actually deposited me back over here. That one hallway I didn't take, but I know how to solve this puzzle. Ha-ha! However, I may have gotten in a little bit farther over my head. Maybe I still want to have that melta gun out. Solve a problem real quick. Yeah, I'm gonna need that now. Thank you. There is nothing special over there, unfortunately. Ah. I hopped in an attempt to confuse them. Oh. Can I launch myself through the environment like that? Ow! Oh no. Apparently the gears killed me. Oh my god, are you fucking serious? Ah! Is the... Okay, autosave? That... No. Okay, now we're actually getting into haha save. Because the autosave is there, but it's not? Motherfucking son of a... Well, we figured out that the other areas have nothing in them. We'll actually have to go straight for the key, which is a turn... Yo, one turn, it was just down that hallway. It's that fucking hallway. We don't actually have to go anywhere else. It's just this hallway. This way, actually. That other way doesn't really lead anywhere. So I found the gameplay after wandering around, but son of a bitch. The big stupid gears killed me. Ah! Oh no. Ah! I got stuck on that. I didn't... It's supposed to knock me off, which I didn't notice before. Funny. But I got stuck in it. Nerd. Okay, that's really odd. The first time I died, but I think it was... These weren't working before. That's funny. These were not actually functioning before when I came through here. Kids, I think this level has some issues. So we will be more cautious now. And not try to fly up there and then get crushed by gears. Because I think that's what killed me. I hit the gears and they instantly killed me. I think. So we'll be more methodical with our approach. Glorious amounts of contempt. Like I have for this autosave system. Not really working. Okay. But then again, it is not actually it is not actually supposed to function. If we were playing super duper hardcore actual boomer shooter slash Quake, we'd actually have no autosave system and be entirely reliant on quick saving. Or manual saving if we're going back far enough. I've been here before. I killed everyone. Ah, okay, so that's the staircase up. We're supposed to go here. Although, So I suppose I shouldn't be counting on the quick save feature, or the ultimate pro move of simply don't die, and you'll never have to reload a save. The truest form of knowledge, simply get good. If you get good, you will not have to deal with any shortcomings or disadvantages. Ah, the red key. I have found the red key. Now I must go to the warp door, which will probably lead me towards the yellow key, and also the purple key. This corner is interesting, however, it also leads nowhere. What a shame. At least we managed to not get eaten by the gears. Ah! This will take me down to the Amble Arena. Yes, okay. Right, okay. This is the other path. Hello! And now we are in here without actually having to fight the other guys in that area. So now we are here, and now we are going through the area, which will full direct to the red key area. So, funny enough, I was, by exploring, playing the map ass backwards. Or rather, if I found this area, I was supposed to be deposited over to the area I was supposed to go. Like, you saw how that worked, right? If you go back through the tunnels and you go down the one area, go down the one tunnel that drops you in front of the, the bottomless hallway, that's the way to the red key. So even if you find this area, you'll find your way to the... It'll place you in front of that hallway as if to say, go here, stupid, if you want the key. Wordless level design language. We're gonna need something large for that. Yep, that's what the Boltgun is for. In this game, and basically in canon. Brother, we are being aggressed by a horrifying demon of otherworldly, existence. Bring me the anti-tank volcano gun. That usually solves the issue. Oh no. Once again. God damn it, they made me use all my anti-tank volcano gun ammo. Fuck. Well, let's see if we can... well, there is... wait, no. There is an area where we can totally outskill it. I'm going to do what is known as a pro gamer move. Ah! Well, actually, well, that helps. However, it's going to hurt. Well, it hit me once. Watch out, kids. That'll kill you on a harder difficulty. Oh, it has a ranged attack. Oh, well, oh, no, it's an illusion. It will lie to you. You can't get up there and just get into the rafters, or you have to be super pro. That does basically no goddamn damage. It appears to be confused, however. Ow. Okay, what about the plasma gun? I mean, not really. Also, I will die if it continues shooting at me like that. It is also shooting balls of maggots at me. I suppose it defaults to that state when it cannot actually find me. Ah, yes, that is more preferable. Outskilled. GG. You didn't even really give me anything for all of that. I probably could have just gone through the portal. But I went through the effort of outskilling you just because. When you could charge the plasma gun, can you? I mean, you could hold it down more, I suppose, but no. You cannot, no, you cannot use the gets hot rule in your favor. You cannot charge the plasma gun to the point of it becoming a bomb. That's, well, that's Dark Tide. Ah! Okay, odd. Ah, yes, the purple key. Ah, they have respawned enemies in this area. Interesting. Interesting. Throwing a grenade at yourself. Very daring tactics, Chaos. Okay, so with that... I think if we go back over here, there's more stuff to find, because we didn't go this way. I believe this is the way to the gold door. The yellow key, as it were. Which leads over here, and, well, actually, no, there's just a bunch of secrets in this room. More ammo. See, rather strangely, I was forced to play the level again, twice. And now I understand more about the level. Interesting. However, I'm also dying. Ow. I also lost a tremendous amount of health doing that. And this, I believe, is a mistakes into miracles moment, like I keep saying. They let the Nurglings get stuck on the AI to, you know, get stuck on the walls, I should say. They let the AI get stuck on the walls because it effectively forms an ambush, whereas they should, without them actually having to code anything. The AI is so poor that, it forms accidental ambushes, which makes it look more fucking intelligent. Very odd. But it works, doesn't it? However, I could use some hit points. So there isn't anything... Well, actually, there's still this over here. But I believe this leads to the gold door. Yes, the infernal fucking... well, wait a minute, I know when there's health. See, if there isn't what I... Well, there's more bolt ammo here. Right, this was... Well, this was to the red key. Or rather, to the area with the red key. But this area will lead me into this area that I have already cleared, which has a full health, Medicae. I have not killed this amble, though. However, the ambles are not really a threat. They are bullet sponges, however, they are not actually a threat. Which is somewhat poor for their design. However, they're aping similar brute-esque bullet sponge characters. So this tunnel will lead me to, yes, that. Exactly that. And I can also get some more ammo while I'm in here. I don't need to go back through that, however, it would make my journey backwards faster. But we have the purple key. Now we go to the other side of the map. See, the ambles I somewhat understand. They're a very old enemy type that isn't actually a threat, so long as you don't actually let it hit you. They're very slow, and they're really only a problem in groups with other enemies. Their major defining characteristic is that they can be a problem for far longer than the other enemies that die almost instantly. So they are, in fact, exactly what they appear to be, bullet sponges. However, dealing with a bullet sponge in a group is still a valid choice. It's either you take out the bullet sponges to avoid them becoming problems, or you take out all the smaller enemies around the bullet sponge to avoid, taking out the bullet sponge becoming an issue. It is a choice that never, well, there's no right or wrong answer to it. It's just, how good are you? I suppose that's one of those intrinsic sort of game design ideas that never really goes away, because it is a form of engagement in a game. It is a challenge, and there's no right or wrong answer to it, but it presents the challenge nonetheless. That's why I suppose it remains interesting. However, fighting the ambles on their own is not actually interesting. They're actually, their pathing is actually very poor. It's very easy to just put yourself in a position where they can't get to you, and then you just sit there filling them full of bullets. Which is very old game of this. However, that shit don't work no more. You're breaking the AI. They're only challenging when you're dumped into situations with them, and you can't actually get away from them, which we're finding very interesting ways to actually still get away from them, even if we aren't supposed to, like the Ancient Amble a couple of minutes ago. But they aren't necessarily a challenge unless you're forced into those situations with them, or more commonly with other units to worry about. I probably could have used that to leap up there, but I didn't want to risk the whole lava thing. Yes, Armor not rated for lava. Be aware. Ah, so... that man just stood there. Okay, so we understand the simple mechanics of Space Marine go whoosh. So I left that man alive specifically for this purpose. Well, actually, we didn't actually need to use Space Marine go whoosh. There is a path here. Oh. We will use it anyway to speed that shit up. See, that's what you get when you actually, take a look at a mechanic and really study what it does and what you can do with it. Which is, I think, the benefit of actually making a game that's so simple like this. You don't spend a million hours making sure every single pixel of lava is unique and interesting to look at. You actually get, you establish where you are and what you're looking at, and then you start to play around with the mechanics of what you're doing in this area. Which is probably how they eventually got to the point of, hey, you can kind of use the melee lunge unintentionally to fly across the map and reach places. We didn't intend this to happen, however, what if we made this a mechanic? What if we based some map design elements around this? What if you could get the secrets by doing this? And thus, your mechanics have been explored further. Typically faster, typically more than most modern games do. Because they don't really have time to do that. Or the developers think they are done. When really they could actually take their mechanics farther than they actually did. It just takes the players to, smack them over the head with the ideas. So finding weird ways to do things, with tools that they weren't intended to do. This is what happens when developers do not play their game enough, or they believe they have played their game enough, but actually haven't. Haha. This is why playtesting is important. However, I very narrowly lunged into immediate death there. Had to watch for that. There isn't anything in here, too, which is unfortunate. There's unfortunately a lot of corner camping in this game, which is kind of counter to what the game is trying to be. I suppose that's the safe option. You could be more ridiculous. You could play this like it's Quake and never stop fucking moving. However, that's just not the kind of game that I usually play. I'm not really a Quake person. I don't really, like, I understand the, you know, the benefits and, you know, feeling of moving incredibly fast and doing things incredibly quickly while you're moving incredibly fast. However, I like to actually enjoy my moments. I like to enjoy the context of what I am doing while doing it. I like to enjoy the moments, not enjoy them when they're fucking over, which is how most fast-paced FPS games work. The moments you get to enjoy what you're doing are incredibly short because that's the whole point. You're moving incredibly fast. You have no time to enjoy them because you're moving incredibly fast. You enjoy them when they're over. It's like when it's actually over, you go, "Wow, I did that. That was so cool." But it's over. So you're enjoying the moment in your mind after it has passed, not enjoying the moment while it's happening. Because it's either over too fast or, I don't know, you just have such a high reaction time that everyone moves in slow motion or some shit. You have all the time in the world to actually enjoy a moment like that, I guess, because you're superhuman, I suppose. That's not me, though. So I suppose I play a more methodical, tactical approach. Hey. Now, wait a moment. Well, actually, I think I'd probably make that jump without actually needing him. Yes, I did. Wow. Now, what did that do? Oh, you could jump across the gears. I didn't want to touch those, though, because they killed me the other time. That did nothing, though. That gave me a cracker grenade, but that actually didn't do anything. Or crack-in grenade. We're not playing Mobile Suit Gundam today. Crack-in, not crack-er. That's a Zaku grenade. Okay, so now how the fuck am I getting back? Mortis. I haven't died yet, though. Are you trying to say something for the enemy? In High Shadow. Or Stranger, right? Stranger, Shadow. It's the beginning of the name and the end of the game. Sorry about that. I'm rambling about things. And paying close attention to level design. While failing this level multiple times due to pathing errors. And also getting instant killed by gears. Damn you, autosave. And not actually being auto or saving. Okay, so now I have the gold key, and I'm assuming I can leave now. And this is rambling. Well, I was rambling about Marathon before, and how it's very interesting in how... Yeah, the new Marathon's basically just gonna fuck up all the established story of the old Marathon. Because we see what we're doing. You're going to the Tau Ceti colony that was abandoned after the events of the first Marathon, but according to Durandal, that whole ship was destroyed and everybody's dead. So there's no real mystery as to what the fuck happened. Oh, this colony. It's abandoned and spooky looking. But everything's still kind of intact. I wonder why that is. Well, everyone was eaten by fucking slavers is what the fuck happened. The funny thing is that the colony is still standing even though it was supposed to be mostly destroyed, but I guess the 4 did a really bad job of destroying the entire colony. They did use nuclear weapons during their assault, though, so some parts of that shit are actually gone. But there's no real mystery as to what happened. The 4 ate or enslaved everyone. And funny enough, I go back through Marathon and look at the 4 and look at the Covenant, and this is just Bungie making the same fucking video game again. Like I said, Bungie kind of makes the same game over and over again, or tries to. I forget what the fuck they're called in Destiny, but those aliens are basically the same fucking thing, even though they are a little bit more diverse. However, they keep doing the same archetype of alien sort of alliance thing that kind of melds together different species under a single flag of antagonism. Destiny's a little bit farther. Destiny has more factions that are fighting against themselves, but it's still kind of the same hodgepodge of aliens, all fighting you. So, once again, Bungie makes the same game over and over again. And it looks like Marathon, the new game, is effectively just going to be, well, the PvE enemies, you already know what they are. They're just going to be the 4. Which might sound interesting, I suppose, but they're kind of just wrecking all of the established canon to do all of that. And if any of the AIs show up on the colony, it's absolutely wrecking the lore of the old games because there were none left. It's almost like Bungie has, like, 3 ideas and that's it. Pretty much. Though I have to commend them for how they craft internal myth, and that's how, that's what I understood from Marathon Infinity. Marathon Infinity is how they crafted the recurring mythos that got you Master Chief, and effectively the Guardians and Destiny as well. It's kind of the same diff. Even though Master Chief isn't undead, but it's kind of the same, you know, reincarnated hero of incredible power, does an amazing super thing, saves the day, GG. The story repeats itself endlessly. That's what Marathon Infinity is. It's showing you, hey, it doesn't matter how many timelines or variations that we put on this. It's the same fucking story. It doesn't matter what batshit AI you're listening to. It's the same story. They all converge. They all converge and or end the same way. Your super awesome guy wins day. Probably. For Bungie, it's hero, aliens, conflict, repeat. Yeah, it's not necessarily bad because they do it very well, but they do just make the same game over and over again on some levels. Perhaps they read a holy book and can never deviate from the book. Yes, people have pointed that, yes, it is a Jesus allegory. However, I suppose I don't think that's necessarily intentional, but they are doing the whole Hero of a Thousand Faces thing, where it's basically the same rhythm of events over and over again. But not because they're unoriginal, but because they're intentionally entertained by this. You are a hero of legend that is reincarnated over and over again to do super awesome shit when the world needs someone to do super awesome shit. And that's how you get Master Chief, the Marathon guy, the Guardians from Destiny, etc. What you are in Marathon, I have no idea, because it looks like you're basically just a scumbag treasure hunter. Because that's all you're really doing. They'll probably attempt to craft the story the same way, but to me, as I looked through Marathon, there's no mystery as to what the hell happened. Yes, the Tau Ceti colony was a thing. Yes, the Durandal, the batshit crazy AI, called the 4 to the colony, who had no defenses against it because it wanted their ship. It wanted their technology and ship to escape its human masters. And that's why he got everybody fucking killed. Fuck you, I want a boat out of this. And thus, all of the events of Marathon happened. But the thing is, Leela, Durandal, and Tycho, the original AI, don't exist anymore anywhere near the Marathon and the colony. So the AI cannot appear in that game because they're not there. And apparently, well, actually, it's 100 years after Marathon, I suppose? So, the events of Marathon 2, which are the end of the timeline, basically, have happened, and Durandal's just kind of out there, putzing around, doing whatever. He'll visit Earth again in, like, 10,000 years and be like, hey, guys, remember me? You should have, because I'm fucking awesome. Oh, God. Ah! 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 Oh, no! The walls! They're closing in! Oh, no. Oh, no. That is old school. Haha, got you, kid. That is old school game design there. Wherein the game designer doesn't really care about fail states or being a dick. That's part of the gameplay. Most games don't do that anymore. So that's why I kind of wasn't prepared for it, but this is factually speaking, an extravagant old game, so it would pull shit like that. It would pull, you know, instant death trap crush puzzles and shit like that. Right? Although, what the? I don't know if I can touch the gears, but there is actually a platform up there. What the hell's going on over here? Oh! Aha! Ha ha! Now, I guess I have to hop through the... Do I hop on the gears? Or will... No! The gears straight up fucking kill me! Oh no! A gear moving at like 2 revolutions a minute! Oh no! I'm instantly dead! Wow, okay. It's rather funny how the Champion of Chaos is incredibly not exactly threatening from that angle. It's important that you are able to pull one over on the enemy once in a while. Most players will consider this, you know, bad game design. However, it does make them feel super cool, which is the point. Players will think, haha, the game designer is an idiot, I pulled one over on you. Even when the game designer intended you to feel that way, so it's not actually incorrect. However, there are some moments that are definitely broken in this game. But yes, that was the wrong way. However, I know exactly what's going on here. Whoa, no, watch the gears. We don't want to die. God fucking damn it. Hey! You! Come closer to the edge so I can fucking jump up to you. You bastard. There we go. Okay, so I suppose now that I'm up here, I can do something, which is probably leap up to here and bolt on this. No, it's not. Well, I fucked it up. There's something up there, though. I can't touch the gear, though, so what the fuck? I guess I have to hop? Hang on. That's this hallway, right? Yes, good. There's a secret here, and I will find it. There's something up there. I don't know what it is, but... Like I said, I did play Marathon for a bit, and I understand how they hide secrets, so this is ringing in my ears like, they're trying to hide something. But what? It's probably not going to be an obtuse terminal telling me it's fucking nonsense, but, Grenade hopping? Probably something of that magnitude. Or grenade hopping, or grenade climbing, as I learned. That is a thing in Marathon, where when they want you to do that, they give you an invincibility power-up, and you basically hop up the walls using grenade explosions, like a ladder. I'm an idiot, I didn't need to do that, damn it. I wasn't thinking properly. Hang on here, we're figuring this out. Yes, but apparently, it's a bitch to do, but apparently it's how you get one of the hardest to get terminals in the game, which explains the least. The deprivation chamber. Yep, I know about that. Yeah, apparently, it is of much debate, and as I said, I was intrigued by, you know, the whole undead super soldier angle here, so I was very interested in all the terminals. And, well, that's the only thing to be interested in Marathon, because that's how the fucking entire story is told, through terminals. There's no voiceovers, there's no nothing, it's all in the terminals. And if you don't read the terminals, you don't understand anything. You can play it just as, haha, man go shoot monsters, but you miss a lot. God damn it! You infernal instant kill gears! Have you seen the timeline flowchart? No, but I have seen references to it. I've seen a breakdown of how Infinity establishes there's like 7 or 8 fucking timelines. However, I don't think that's the point. It makes her head hurt looking at it. It's very interesting what they did, because Marathon Infinity is actually a non-linear FPS. If you're not actually looking around and doing things properly, you will basically repeat the first chapter over and over again by accident. Because the most intuitive way basically forces you back to the first level. So you actually have to find the secret exit in order to enter the next chapter. And this whole thing is a metaphor for being stuck in your past via your memories and reliving the same events over and over and over again. Which, again, incredibly ahead of its fucking time. And, unfortunately, you could see how they attempted to do this with, like, Halo 4 and Master Chief's breakdown emotional story, and then did it horribly badly because everybody who actually mattered at Bungie went to go work on Destiny, and nobody important actually made Halo 4. But you could see how they attempted to replicate the same thing again. It's just that none of the people that would have actually made that shit any good worked at 343. They all went to make Destiny, which was a fucking disaster and a half. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to be super awesome and make a save here, because, we can do that! I didn't recognize that ability before, but now I can. Yes, I can in fact do that. I mock secure. I won't forget, I think was what that means. Okay, so let's see if this works, because I can't touch the gears. But what do I do? Do I have to jump over the pipe? Hang on. Insert budget, posture check, and hydrate here. Posture check, that's a new one. But I do have hydration here. I should actually take some water while I sit here thinking about this obvious secret puzzle here. Because they definitely want me to do something here, or that guy would not be on that platform. Because that guy wasn't engaging me until I hopped over to that side of the map. But as you saw, the crushing hallway of death is the way forward. So a player not paying attention would never have a reason to go over there. You can't even see the guy on that platform. So very clearly, I have gone somewhere where they wanted me to go, but it's not expected. And also, because I understand what they are doing with their mechanics, I also understand that this guy was placed here so that I use the lunge to jump up to this platform. Because I understand that mechanic. So I suppose what I have to do is I actually have to jump on the axle and not the gears. Yes! Because the gears will instantly kill me. And what I am looking for is probably up there. So hang on here. Another save, because I am paranoid and will probably fuck up this jump. Nope. Yep. Or maybe I have to jump over to the jump over the gear. So maybe I have to jump over this killer gear of awfulness, and maybe I will find something over there. But this is old school secret hiding, I think. It's what my mind is telling me. So what happens if I hop over the... There is no hopping over the gear. I will die horribly. No, there is no hopping over the gear. I will die horribly. But hang on. What's this? Okay, no. Strafe jumping? I could attempt to rocket jump. I do have explosives. So what I could do is I could do actually do the Quake/Marathon and... Nope. Jump around the gear. I probably could. They're hiding something up there. I don't know what it is, but they're hiding something up there. I was clearly supposed to come up here to find something, but as you can see, that's the way out, and I never had to come over to this side of the map for anything. So what's that man doing there? Jump around the gear, mayhaps? I don't think I can. I can't really get... honestly, I think if I even rub my face on this gear, I will instantly die. Yeah! You can't even touch that shit! Have you tried hitting the flag? I mean, I could go back over there and try to hit the flag. Oop. Aha!
I sent you to meet your foul god.
Nope, that doesn't work like that. Okay. Now what about this? Because this is very interesting. What about this? Interesting! Now, what if I were to just ever so slightly go over... Yeah! Interesting, but what is over here? Nothing. So, I think there's something here, I just don't know what it is. It might be in that corner over there. But I don't exactly know how the fuck you would get to that, because... Huh. There's something obtuse here, I believe. It has to do with standing on top of these, but I'm not sure what it is. Because I can't see anything out of the ordinary from here. I don't see... There might be a door in that corner. There might be a false wall or something like that, but I can't actually get over there. Okay, question. No, actually, I don't grenade hop. I do not actually do that. That's... I'm kind of shocked. I can't... Well, actually, what if I... That does work, but not the way I want it to. Okay, so hang on here. What if we... I mean, yes, but also no! I'm alive, though. Okay, so what if we just kind of... Nope. I was affected by it, but it did... Well, actually, hang on here. What if I bounce it off of it and then jump into it? So what if we do this? Nope. Son of a bitch. Okay, what if we do... that? Oh no! Ow. Owie gears. Big grinders. Much hurt. But you see, there's that... Maybe I'm thinking about this too hard. Because this would... You would assume that this would be a door of some kind, but I guess not. But this is drawing my attention. It's clearly... This is clearly something that's supposed to grab my attention, otherwise it wouldn't be there. So hang on here. What if we just kind of go back over here and then just... Yep, do the whole walking around thing. I can't get over there, however, I think I can get over here. Actually, hang on here. No, I'm still on the... Hey! Wait a fucking second! Now, why am I here? Asked the Space Marine in Blood Gulch. If I touch this gear, I will die horribly. Are you sure there's a secret here? There's definitely a path up here, so there is either a secret or somebody's fucking with me. But what did that do? I can't jump back over there. I don't have the spring in my hop to get up there. I think I may have misinterpreted something. However, I am not exactly sure how to get past this. I can't touch any of the gears because they will instantly kill me if I even so much as bump into them. My suspicion is someone is fucking with you. Possibly. They may be hiding a secret or looking like they're hiding a secret for the sake of looking like they're hiding a secret. However, I don't see anything out of the ordinary. I can get up there, and there was... I don't know. Because that guy isn't a threat. He's actually too far away, which is odd. That guy is too far away from the ledge to actually be in this engagement, so why was he there? There must be something here with the murder gears. I'm onto something, but I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing here. But hang on here, what if we just... Well, not that. That'll actually fucking kill me. That will also kill me, but in a different manner. Hang on here. What if I... Ah! Wait a fucking second. Those do help you. Fly directly into that. Fly directly into the big spinning gear of death. That's what they help you do. So, actually, maybe you can. Wait a second. Wait just a goddamn fucking second here. If they can bump me into the gears, they can bump me upwards. So maybe this is grenade climbing. Try at the platform. Ah. Now, you see, wait a minute. Yes, actually. If I were to use my thinking cap here and... Well, do that fucking better. Do that much better. Oop. Missed it. But then again, I could just go here. Haha. Okay, so, hang on here. I cannot make those detonate faster, which is somewhat unfortunate. But hang on here. If I were to say... You'd have to time it. Because if I can get on top of that, I can get on top of that, and then we're through. Ah, damn it! I almost got it. No truth in flesh. Ah, but there is truth in gears! Now, but hang on here. Can I? No. So that I actually did get some air off of that. I need more air. Yes! Ha ha! Unfortunately, I can't actually go anywhere. Yes! Ha 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 ha! Good thing I played Marathon for a grand total of 10 minutes! Yes! However, now I have to get over that without dying horribly, and if there's nothing up here, I'm gonna be fucking disappointed. But I have actually done something that was worthy of finding a secret. I don't know if I'm gonna find anything, though, because I can't actually crouch over here, so what the fuck's going on over there? Now, can I actually do this without dying horribly? My gut instinct says I have to be up here, but then I'll hit the ceiling. Okay, so can I hop over this without dying horribly? No. Hold on. No, I cannot. Well, yes I can. Okay, so we're up here, and then we're all the way the fuck over here. You gotta be fucking squidding me. Really? Come on, guys! If this is an accidental series of events, you missed out on something! Where's the secret, bro? Come on! Where's my mysterious fucking terminal that explains nothing? That's some dude that's just magnetic poetry on a wall combined with the writer's dreams. At least you learn how to grenade climb here. That I can do now. My basic understanding of boomer shooters, as articulated through breakdowns of Marathon's plot, have assisted me. However, there's nothing fucking here. It would have been interesting to hide something up here and then have to do what I just did to get up it. But there's nothing here! Wow, that's rather unfortunate. Wait a minute. Wait a second. Okay, I couldn't go over here as well, but there's nothing here. Yeah, Kilroy, a fucking Easter egg or something like that. The Emperor was here. So, yeah, that was entirely pointless. Wow. I dissected a puzzle that isn't actually a puzzle. What a shame. There might be something in this room, but I don't know. That wasn't it, clearly. There wasn't anything there. Wow. Fug. And I was ready to compliment this game. But no, there's nothing there. That looks like a secret, but it isn't actually a secret. Wow, fuck. That actually took some ingenuity to get around as well. So that means, yeah, nobody was watching there. That actually took some ingenuity to get around and exploit the map itself, which is typically what you need to do in order to find, you know, the secrets of a game. You need to learn how to exploit the engine, or exploit the game mechanics in order to get somewhere you're not supposed to. Secret, secret, he has a secret. I'm not a hero. I'm not a savior. Forget what you know. I'm just a man whose circumstances went beyond his control! Beyond his control! Ugh! Beyond my control. What the fuck was that? That was a secret, but I don't know what the other one was. Yeah, the void grenade was a secret there, but I'm not exactly sure what was going on there. Maybe they thought hiding the void grenade up there was too difficult? I don't know, but I managed to figure it out just fine. And all I did was watch a couple of breakdowns of Marathon, and one of them explained what the deprivation chamber is. And how it utilizes the movement physics that Bungie actually utilizes as an intentional gameplay mechanic. You don't jump in Marathon, but you float. Well, at least the level design isn't as bad as Colony Ship for Sale Cheap. Yes, I also know about that and the incredibly awful platforming puzzle in a game with no jumping. I also know that the level designer responsible for it apologized formally for creating that level. You see, that's what the old days of video game design were like. You didn't really care about giving the player a fail state. You basically, that was just get good, haha, you fell for the trap. Or you didn't really, you were actively antagonistic with the level design in a way that only like games like Dark Souls are now. Older games were actively antagonistic with that, and ambushes in Marathon are exactly what the fuck I'm talking about, because there's plenty of them. The level designer will do horrible things like that. And you're just supposed to get good. I quit so many times on that fucking level. I stopped playing at the Rose because I managed to get stuck in a room and I have no way to get back up. I think I have to grenade jump out of the, out of where I'm standing, but I got stuck somewhere and I couldn't actually get out. So I didn't make it very far at all myself. I watched other people play the game and then tell me what it's all about. It's very interesting. And again, I did this because I caught wind of the fact that Battleroids are undead cyborg super soldiers, and that's a rationalization for how super awesome you are. And once again, what would I do with this information? How would I look at Marathon making undead super soldiers with advanced alien technology? How would I, Phontomen, use this now? I wonder. I'm gonna say the N-word, Necronica. Yeah, evidently everybody complains about that level and a lot of other fucking things. But Marathon itself is a very interesting experience, and we may actually go play them. But I won't be doing guessing games with things like Infinity. I won't be utilizing a guide either, like step by step, but I will avoid the whole repeating over and over again thing. Because that's the draw. It's a non-linear FPS, which, again, this is like 1997? Aha! As you watch the Mandalore videos, among them, yes, I was led to them via some other, videos as well. because I wanted to know what was in all of the terminals and what the overarching plot was. The overarching plot is very interesting. The entire thing is actually a conspiracy set up by some Martian separatist that's gone horribly awry because one thing that was supposed to be super intelligent and subservient, Durandal, goes fucking nuts. Everything was going to plan until Durandal went fucking nuts. The use of Sword of Roland was great. Yes, everything was going to plan until the Sword of Roland literally rebelled against its masters and fucked up everything. Okay, so that clearly activates something, but well, it's that door. But hang on here, let me look at the environment again. Let me see what's going on here. The series is about a birth of a god. Yes, that's what I've got, but what I understood is, it's not necessarily about the birth of a god, per se, but it is effectively a recurring story about hero arrives and does stuff. And it is also a critique of game design in that fate and determinism exist in game design because they have to. Which is interesting and entirely true. They may not exist in real life, and it may be arguable whether or not there is a god and if he has a plan, but in a video game, the game designer is God and he has to actually have a plan for you because the game has to have a beginning and an end. And Marathon Infinity fucks with that amazingly by being non-linear, having really odd beginnings and ends. Or beginnings and ends that appear to make no sense if taken at face value unless you understand what, what's going on. That thing being dimension hopping. Ah, that didn't really... You see, that didn't feel like a secret. What the fuck? I literally just walked down a hallway and went up a ramp that's somewhat not obvious. Dude, I just employed grenade climbing to get to somewhere. I didn't get a secret. That's odd. Because Infinity gave you the first Forge mapmaker. Yes, that as well, too. It's a critique of game design and also a fun in-joke that Bungie released version 1 of Forge with Marathon Infinity, which allowed the community to create their own maps forever and ever and ever and ever. Some of people still do that. Hell, apparently there's a guy who's been running a Marathon lore website since 1995. It's still in operation, it's still getting updates. I suppose in that regard, yes, it is about making a player god because, well, they fuck with the game design and they give you examples of really obtuse ways of doing things and then give you the tools to go, do it yourself. Oh boy. Oh no! Oh shit! Literally Nurgle! Okay, Okay, that's a problem. That's quite the, Oh lord. Oh lord, he coming. That literally Nurgle, that's quite the uptick. I mean, I suppose the first one was Zinch, so we would be fighting, more Nurgle things here, like I imagined. The last one, I suppose, is gonna be Khorne, because, well, there's only 3 chapters. I don't think we can get into Slaanesh territory without being banned. Where did he go? Oh, God damn it! The gears! The gears! Oh, God. Ah! The big space book did not actually say anything about the Chaos Demons using tinnitus as a weapon. I'm gonna have to reference the big space book for this one. I don't think we prepared adequately for this. Shit, he's basic... The plague toads are basically about as strong as him. Ah! Nope, he can fire over those. Oh god, now he's got floor stomps. Okay, we're good. It's still barfing horrible things. Burn that shit out. Okay, that's it. Oh no, Slanesh is hiding is hidden behind sensors like in Dead Space. Whole fight is skipped with a 2-sentence blurb about your victory. Yes. Actually, no, what you're doing is you're fighting a giant sensor filter, a giant mosaic filter with black bars on it too, just for the sake of it. You know, just on screen, you can't actually see it. You're just fighting a giant square of mosaic and black bars. Ow, though. That actually hurts you still. They're stuck in midair. Amazing. But as we were saying before, literally Nurgle, yeah, Marathon is about the birth of a god in a way, but it's more about the continuation of a god. As with the whole thing of, you know, I was Gilgamesh and, you know, that entire fucking, you know, cramped piece of text that's apparently supposed to be the security guard's internal monologue. And again, this lends credence into the whole Halo thing, you know, of 343 Guilty Spark saying he's met you before. Master Chief is yet again that same hero reincarnated again to do cool shit when cool shit needs to be doing. Even though Halo is not actually a marathon game. It was supposed to be apparently, but it's not. Which is where the whole Bungie thing gets kind of weird. Because it's all referencing things, but if you seriously analyze it, none of it makes sense because it's all conflicting. It's not meant to be taken seriously, it's just kind of a bunch of nods and references that aren't really supposed to be directly connected. But this is where Marathon, the new game, is gonna fuck up everything because it's just gonna sit there retconning a whole bunch of shit. And I suppose, since it's 100 years after Marathon, Durandal might show up again in his super awesome spaceship? And just say, hi, kids? Nice, you know, extraction shooter you got down there? What if I fuck with you? That's totally on par for Durandal, I guess, but there's... Again, there's... It doesn't explain what happens in between, you know, for those 10,000 years. So I suppose there could be an expansion pack where Durandal just shows up. Hi. If in Halo, if you kill Captain Keyes, they will say the Chief has gone rampant. Yes, but they haven't actually acknowledged whether or not Chief... Well, actually, they have acknowledged in various ways that Chief isn't actually undead. However, a lot of things in Halo 1 seem to suggest otherwise. That part of the, that part of Mandalore's video was rather interesting in likening that, because the Marathon soldier is actually, you know, the Marathon, you know, security officer is actually straight up undead and, you know, brought back to life with computer bits, which may or may not be an AI inside their skull and not actually the human that was there. Again, boy, howdy, how would I use this information? Gee, I wonder. I wonder why I found this interesting. I wonder how I could use this information. Been dead for years if you connect him to Pathways of Darkness. Also, I saw the Pathways of Darkness video, which was actually rather informative, and again shows you the evolution of Bungie game design. But most of Bungie's game design that you know of descends from Marathon, and all the way down to, again, the movement system. The reason why the Marathon guy floats is the same reason why Master Chief floats. It's supposed to be a way of making navigating a 3D environment interesting. That's why you have, you know, momentum that builds up and decays, and why you know, you do the moon jump. Somewhat like this, but not exactly like this. This has way more downward force. The gravity pulls on you much faster in this regard, but you still have this hop, right? This is Marathon, even though Marathon didn't have jumping. But this is where Halo got Master Chief's jump. Again, it's to make moving around. See, I have a moment in midair to redirect where I'm going. I still have momentum conserved, so it's not like I can just change direction immediately, but I can still guide and affect where I'm going. Like, I can guide myself in a circle if I actually do it right. See? That's what the moon hop is for. It's actually a game mechanic and not just we put it there because we felt like it. Most games at the time completely miss this. And so that's why you have games with jumps, with jumping that is only minorly useful or no jump at all. It's like imagine Arma where we don't actually have jumping. But Arma's trying to be a simulator, so that's somewhat understandable. But first-person shooters of the day where you just have this useless hop. And also no vaulting. That's not Marathon or Halo. I'm not exactly sure what was the first game to have that sort of vaulting, but that's an interesting, thing to have on this. The only game that I remember with an intensive parkour like this is, what the fuck was it? I can't remember what it was, but it was one of those big, super awesome games that was touted as being amazing and then immediately failed after launch. It was one of those games that had a really big emphasis on first-person shooting parkour. I can't remember what the fuck it was. It was set on a floating utopia city. I can't remember what the fuck it was. I don't think it was the first to do that though. But that's the one I remember the most, even though I can no longer remember what the fuck the name is. And it definitely didn't have movement like this. You telling me that Mamster Chief is the soldier is not the Master Chalk? Words there. And Battleroids are called Mjolnir. Yeah, their specific type, Mjolnir Mark IV Cyborg, or Battleroid, is their official name, which is how the Mjolnir power armor came about. Master Chief is wearing a suit of Mjolnir Mark V. And then 6 in Halo 2. However, they've gone back and detailed what the Mjolnir Mark IV is in the Halo universe, and that's kind of muddied the waters there. You can see how they kind of left it up to it's one of those things where they clearly went a different direction, but they left a lot of stupid shit in there that somewhat sort of connects the Marathon, and that's how it gets kind of weird. It's not really... They could continue to... they could be, commended for doing this, but it's rather lazy, because it isn't actually connecting anything. What it is indecisiveness in writing to either be Marathon or not. Otherwise, it's just a bunch of random references to a game they've already made, which is humorous, but also not valuable to the story story that we're watching. Because it's just a bunch of haha in references. It's not actually valuable to what's going on in front of you in the story in front of you because it's not interwoven into the story. It's a bunch of random shit that sounds like it's connected to an old game that has nothing to do with what you're doing. However, Halo was actually a Marathon game at some point, and you can still point it as a connection to Marathon Infinity, where it is just a security guard reincarnated as Master Chief doing cool shit in a completely different dimension where the 4 are the Covenant now, and Cortana is a good AI. Or Cortana is just a variation of Leela, I suppose. You could look at it like that, and if that's what they were trying to get across, okay. That's actually intelligent, but as a direct continuation, it makes no fucking sense. I wish Bungie never lost the Halo IP just for the insane Marathon connection, all the ways back to Marathon symbols, which they can't really utilize, but they've edited it enough that they can do it again. It's not that they've lost it, it's just that they they tried to separate themselves from it as much as possible, because they got bored and Microsoft wanted more useless Halo games. The story after 3 was over, but they still wanted more because of money. But the people at Bungie, being very invested in their internal mythos, clearly did not want to make more Halo games. They wanted to make Destiny, but no one wanted them to do that. they wanted to make Destiny, but Microsoft didn't want to fund them doing that, so that's how they had to split and then go to Activision, which was a terrible idea too. They're better now because they're operating on their own, but you can clearly see that they didn't want to make Reach, because that's why Reach was phoned in. And why I don't specifically enjoy Reach. Not because it was, you know, forced upon Bungie, but because it's not actually that good. Halo 4 is effectively just somebody else trying to continue Halo when the people that were the brains of the operation are no longer here. Which is why you get things like ADS. Halo went from being unique in the way that it does design to copying Call of Duty because we gotta. Destiny 2 is dying. Well, Destiny 2 has been withering for a while, as I assume. I honestly, unfortunately, do not really care too much, and also I didn't move my account over, so if I start now, I have to start from the beginning, because I didn't actually care about playing Destiny 2 when the whole Battle.net split happened. So I'm fairly certain I don't actually even technically own Destiny 2 anymore, I think. Because it's not on Battle.net, and I don't think I moved my account over, and, I didn't move my account over when they were actually doing that. So I'm pretty sure my account no longer exists. But that was in the middle of the pit that was, Destiny under Activision, so nobody really gave two flying fucks. Some people did, and they still do, but on top of that, I also don't really find Destiny all that interesting. It was, it was a novel sort of game for what it was doing, but it was effectively just, from all intents, Halo the MMO, kinda, sorta, and became incredibly repetitive with the whole light level thing. Interesting. Oh. Hey! What are you doing up there? GG, Tiny Pete, outskilled by a fucking projector. Destiny 2 got very fucking boring. Yeah, that's mainly down to the fact of things people complained about endlessly, because I was sitting next to Gom, who was actually infuriated with the game and stopped playing it at some point. The light level shit was just inane and just excusing an endless grind because you needed to get to top light level, but the problem is the only way you got new gear was via an RNG system. So effectively, you weren't really gaining anything, or rather not proving anything to the game by continuing to play it. You were just basically rolling a pair of dice until you got all the best gear. There was no skill involved, it was just a repetitive action over and over and over again. Get drop, get loot, and then force the loot to drop at light level, at maximum light level. But that was all the game became. You could somewhat blame that on, the tumultuous relationship, to say the least, between Bungie and Activision, fucking up potential plans to take Destiny somewhere, but that also went on for fucking ever. And funny enough, Destiny is one of the games that kind of pioneered the whole light level thing and gear score, as it were, along with, say, The Division. And also, Destiny 2 is where we got over that shit and realized this is fucking stupid. So it was a pioneer of of that way of doing things, the whole gear score thing, or one of the pioneers, and then also the game responsible for killing it because people got fucking fed up with it. No one wants to see that shit anymore, primarily because of Destiny 2. Additionally, on top of that, The Division becoming a math problem for builds rather than a gameplay. See, I like The Division. I like a lot of things about The Division's atmosphere. Well, Division 1. 2 is a different sort of situation. I really haven't played it anytime recently, so I can't tell you if it's gotten gooder or worse. But I liked where the Division was going, or rather the style by which Division was, carrying itself. However, the build system is one gigantic fucking math problem. raids were convoluted as fuck sometimes, too. Well, raids in Destiny were actually somewhat of a high point, I guess, in game design, because it was Bungie going back to experimental. It was one of those things where you, like, the feeling of playing a Destiny raid is like accidentally hopping outside a map and wondering if you're supposed to be doing things that you're doing currently. There's an air of wonder, mystery, and kind of, uncertainty about what you're doing, which is very interesting to bring that back into game design, because linear games have a habit of being predictable, because you realize that all I have to do is follow these hallways. The Destiny raids, while eventually they got kind of, convoluted with how you were supposed to solve the raid mechanics, people still figured them out incredibly quickly anyway. But they were, in fact, very interesting experimentations in game design by being obtuse as fuck. It's going back to old boomer shooter logic where they didn't really care about giving the player, a fail state. They gave you a set of mechanics and went, figure it out. And if you didn't figure it out, you died, or you didn't progress. Most games today will basically more or less force you to succeed. So that's why I think the raid design is interesting. It's just that it's in a game that's not very good. And also, 4 out of 8 secrets, I wonder where they all were. The Deep Vault. You have located the Xeno storage vaults. Be careful not to damage the many specimens contained within. You need not take such precautions with the heretics. Sudden wide screen. The division was born because every enemy was a bullet sponge. That's also true because of the way the stat system has to work. Effectively, what you have to do, the division itself, with the way that the game is laid out, it's a percentage and number war. And the only difficulty there is in the game is basically by presenting you an enemy with bigger numbers. And how to break the game or succeed at the game is to come up with a way to create big numbers from your build, some of which are incredibly broken and ridiculous to the point of being like Risk of Rain builds. I am reading the Big Space Book. That means I've been standing still too long. My Best Friend the Emperor, Chapter 1. My best friend the Emperor is so cool. He's just the best guy ever. And he cares. End. Chapter 2. Big Meanie Chaos. Big Meanie Chaos is the worst. Big Meanie Chaos lies. Big Meanie Chaos is the enemy of the Emperor. Big Meanie Chaos says the Emperor is an imaginary friend and not real. This is false. Big Meanie Chaos is lying again. The Emperor is real and not my imaginary friend. End. Chapter 3. Xenos are icky. Big Meanie Chaos stole my lunch money. Yes, Big Meanie Chaos stole my lunch money and makes me feel weird feelings I don't understand. That's the chapter about Slaanesh, which is kind of fucking a children's book trying to explain Slaanesh. That would be kind of a spectacle in itself. Chapter 3. Gilliman said Eldar are fine. Gilliman is full of shit. Knife ears are untrustworthy. Knife ears bad people. Knife ears not even people. A long time ago, in the old times, before my best friend Emperor existed, Eldar did a fucky wucky and still refused to fix it. Girly man. Chapter 4. Ultramarines are the best Marines that ever marined. The Ultramarine Primarch is the best Primarch and is best buddies with best friend, the Emperor. That means all Ultramarines are cool. Written by Mark Wade. Written by Matt Ward, yes. All Ultramarines are super awesome. The end. This has been the big space book written by Matt Ward. I suppose, Chapter 4A, Sisters of Battle. I like Sisters of Battle. That's it. The chapter immediately ends. I like bolter bitches. That's it. The next page is either the end of the book or a completely different chapter. Once again, written by Matt Ward. The Sisters of Battle chapter isn't even part of the book, it's a fanfic. A fanfic that you probably would have been made fun of for in grade school if anyone saw it. Ooh, girly man likes girls. Ooh. What a nerd. The next chapter, I like seeing bolter bitches die. Once again, written by Matt Ward. Edgy, disturbing, somewhat sexually undertoned. Again, I haven't read any of that shit, but I've seen the cliff notes of how that works out, and it's all rather odd. It definitely is somebody's fixation with holy women and dying. But once again, well, they've laid the groundwork for you, so if you want to actually tell a good story with, the Sisters of Battle, go nuts! It's already there! That actually needs a good hand in writing. We don't need to make female Space Marines, because there already are females in this. Hey! Hey! I knew I was gonna find something. Wait, hey, wow, I didn't even need the grenade jump to do that. Wow. I already have a vortex grenade, though. Damn, I can only carry one of them, and wow. I have just noticed how fucking voxelized this shit is. Look at this. Is this the Minecraft grenade? Look at it, it's just made of squares. Wow. Interesting. That is one way to get the art style, I suppose. That would be pixels, but holy shit, that's just voxelized as a motherfucker. My god. What's inside the cube, says Peter Molyneux. A vortex grenade, apparently. Ace of Spades looking motherfucker. Exactly. Right. Everything else kind of has a very distinct art style, even if it's pixelated. Yeah, that looks like an Ace of Spades asset. Thank you, PaveCat. I've actually played Ace of Spades. I kind of missed that game, and I actually kind of liked the Ace of Spades 2, but it quickly got old. I like the I like the idea of the original one basically just being a forever war between two armies. Digging holes and shit. But we have things like Starship Troopers Extermination now, which, again, we're playing on Saturday. Everyone is welcome to join the Discord and come. We're going to try and get 16 people together and actually play hard mode somewhat rationally, because you can't actually play on hard mode because the worst parts of the player base decided to pick hard mode to roost. It's rather odd. Easy and normal are actually fine and function totally okay. Hard has some of the worst teams ever. I don't understand why. And not like and not like because the difficulty is like actually stopping them from being good. They're just terrible people. that don't understand the game at all. They just picked hard mode to either A, play a game they don't understand on the hardest difficulty, or they intentionally went to go fuck up everyone's game playing on hard mode for the lulz. But the problem is that the game is overwhelmingly just a bunch of trolls. That's the fucked up thing. It's actually, they come to fuck up other people's game, but they've all congregated together and all they're doing is they're fucking up their own game. It's rather odd. It's one of the most mystifying things I've ever encountered in video games. It's not the developer's fault, it's just this weird mindset that people went in with. I don't understand why. Maybe it's just down to how video games have been... I want things like Starship Troopers Extermination, but maybe the current gamut of video games has altered the mindset of people who play video games to the point that they're not ready for it. They're not ready to actually cooperate and enjoy cooperating because they've all been playing games that are actually not based around cooperation at all. It's just a bunch of lone wolves beating each other for entertainment. They're just beating the fun out of each other. That's all it is. It's all games like Tarkov and, to an extent, competitive shooters like Call of Duty are. Starship Troopers is a game about cooperating. I don't understand. They're clearly, apparently, not ready for that. Honestly, blame Fortnite for the build fuckery on hard. I suppose you could blame Fortnite, but people who play Fortnite also hate the building mechanics because they detest build-offs because they're silly. And they are silly, but I find Fortnite to be totally silly itself. It's very popular, however, it's goofy. And also a contest of 100 people trying to beat each other, and that's not necessarily a contest of skill so much as it is a contest of luck. Skill helps you, but in a lot of ways, you're just lucky if you manage to win. It's very popular with people, and you can't say that it isn't imaginative with its game mechanics. See every loopy fucking thing they've added into and up to literally anime characters and melee combat and things like that. You can't say it's not imaginative, but it's also kind of awful in that regard too. Call of Duty Zombies, I thought, was always cooperative. Yes, I suppose so, but it's also very restrictive in how it does what it does. And also, it is, at face value, just a wave shooter. They made the secrets that actually tell the stories and, air quotes, complete the maps more and more obvious over time to actually incorporate them as actual mechanics and not fucking secret hunting. However, it's a very restrictive sort of situation where you don't actually have a lot of control over the situation itself. And also breeds people complaining about why you're not using your knife on the first wave. It's wasteful. Meh. Oh, good. Blizzard got caught doing fucky shit with a segment they had at the Future Game Show, where they answered your questions. All but one question was found out to not fucking exist. What? Explain. They were answering made-up questions that they made up themselves, TM? Explain? But I think it's down to the fact that the competitor shooter reigns supreme, and that kind of breeds an environment where people cannot work together and actually see... Basically, if you're on a team, your team is enemies. Because they're incompetent and can't be relied on, but will steal your points, too. Which I know about that from playing War Thunder and World of Tanks. Oh boy, let me tell you. But in Starship Troopers, you actually need your team to survive, and you need to cooperate and coordinate with your team in order to accomplish objectives, especially on hard. That's what the difficulty is supposed to do. The difficulty is, a rampant difficulty that punishes lone wolf playstyles, at increasingly higher levels. Easy is easy because you can play it like a lone wolf shooter. That's why it's easy. The game gets harder and stops you from doing that, and you need more and more cooperation up to the point of several people shooting at a single bug to kill them anytime soon. I questioned myself and said I'm doing great. Yes, government and or business organization investigates itself, finds no wrongdoing. Wow. Okay, I suppose that's the only way through. yeah, Blizzard was answering questions they made up, which is honestly what I feel like most people do, or most businesses do, whenever they have Q&A. Like, War Thunder's Q&A segment was, like the most cherry-picked thing I've ever seen in my entire life, and also points towards the only thing that matters is tank gameplay, which is incredibly fucking annoying as a person who supported War Thunder from the beginning when it was actually a plane game. The game, I understand that lots of people play tanks, however, it feels like the only thing they actually care to give any sort of focus around is tank gameplay, and that's it. Nobody else actually matters, especially not naval. But at least air sort of matters more than naval, or at least air functions as a game mode more than naval does. I wonder if my War Thunder review got taken down. It's not, oh no, they didn't take any reviews down, they just said they don't count and shoved them off into a corner that you have to untick a tick box in order to see. They're saying things. Apparently they got 15,000 questions or 15,000, pieces of feedback, which are apparently all very constructive. We'll see how this all works out, because I still don't think they're actually doing anything. I still think they're just yesing people to death. And they won't actually change. We'll see. Ah, the red key. But Blizzard being a terrible company, you don't say. It's not like they've been proven that they've been effectively chanting feel-good statements and not actually following them. And have their own share of internal horror stories. See the Bill Cosby Room. That's a great name. You don't even need to hear anything else about it. Wow, it's almost like Blizzard is actively lying to you. And in fact, in a larger sense, everybody who champions this new age feel-good sort of idealism or politics is typically a narcissist trying to lie to you and manipulate you. Who only really cares about themselves, but understands that saying these things to you makes you believe that they're good and trust them. And thus, if you do that, then they can get away with things. Wow, it's almost like in the future, we didn't get better as people, we got better as liars. Wow. $120,000 negative reviews so far, and I hope that number keeps climbing. That's up about, 10 to 15,000 by the last time I checked it. The problem is that Steam has put the Band-Aid on it, and I don't think we should actually. We'll see what Gaijin does, but I feel like I'm not going to be pleased by the changes. I already know that I'm not going to be pleased by the changes because it feels like the language they're putting out is that they're trying to appease people primarily who play tanks. And that's not the only people who play the game, and not the only glaring fucking issue. Like I said in the video that I posted, we need to get away from the just dump more content on it and not fix any issues mindset. That's the first thing that needs to happen, and until that happens, really none of this feedback matters. Because it'll probably just go in one ear and out the other. $1,500, 15,000 reviews, mostly negative. I think Hawken is gonna die again. I hope not. I'm waiting to play the game for the next major update to play it on stream. However, like Starship Troopers Extermination, I like where this is going because I am very tired and very bored of the entire. It's like the whole argument that designing PvP content is more preferable for developers because the developers don't make the gameplay. They just give you the same. Effectively, what's going on is the players make the gameplay. You do design a system of gameplay for a game, but after the initial offering, effectively what they do is they just give you, like, say, new maps, and that's it. They don't give you anything else, it's just new maps, which are effectively just new arenas so that players can continue making up the game as they go along. So, while if you champion emergent gameplay, that might be a good thing, it also gets incredibly lazy and boring because the game, it's very simply, if everybody keeps doing this, It's not the game at the end of the day. It's a contest between me and that other guy. The game is beating him, not the game that I'm fucking playing. The context of what I'm doing, what it looks like, none of that matters. What I'm doing is I'm sitting in one part of the country, playing against that other guy who's in another part of the country, trying to beat the fun mercilessly out of him so that I can have some. That's it. Every game becomes just that. Yeah, what the game is, how it looks is kind of spice on top of that, but when you seriously start to analyze these games, you feel as though you're doing the same thing over and over again. I am just fighting other people, and it really just speaks to just lazy design in most cases. They just lean on it because the developer doesn't have to design a game. They don't have to design AI or situations that are interesting. They just have to design a system by which you beat somebody else. Or a system by which you can fight someone else to beat them for a reward, air quotes, but the reward isn't anything that the game gives you at the end of the day most of the time. The reward is punching the daylights out of that guy and going, ha ha, nerd, get fucked, stealing all of his shit and running away laughing. That's the reward. The developers don't actually have anything to reward you in these games with that. That's the reward. Ha ha, I won. It's just, you might as well be playing fucking Monopoly or something like that. It doesn't matter. The game itself doesn't matter. It's the contest that matters. But therein lies the problem. The game doesn't matter. And so when you water it down to that, which you have to if you want to actually win most of the time, the game erodes all meaning. As I have seen, story and gameplay complement each other. They are very important. However, one doesn't necessarily matter more or over the other. They're both equally important. Most people will say, we don't need a story. Gameplay is the games. It gets the gameplay. John Carmack famously said once, apparently, story in games is like porn. It's expected, but not like story in porn. It's expected, but it's not necessarily important, which is untrue. As we've seen multiple times, a good story can carry a game that has lots of problems with its gameplay, and good gameplay can carry a game with a terrible story. They're both equally important. Gameplay is what makes the context that the story gives you entertaining, fun, and engaging. But the context that the story gives to the gameplay is what gives the actions weight and enhances them because you understand what's going on and what these actions mean when you shoot a man dead. If you only care about gameplay, if you shoot an unarmed man, you are only caring about, was that man interesting to fight? Not necessarily because he was unarmed. That was boring. Then you go to things. Well, how did the lighting look when I shot that man? How did the gun sound? How did it feel in my hand? Did he explode entertainingly or something like that? Did he take enough bullets to die, or too few or too many? These are gameplay elements, but it means nothing. Now, if you add to the the situation that you context, which is that man was a scheming mastermind planning to kill millions. Or that man wronged me in the past and I'm getting revenge, a la like Max Payne, for example, then that adds weight to the action of killing the unarmed man. So that while the unarmed man may not fight back, you understanding what's going on and why you're killing him makes the action enjoyable, even if it's not like a Quake boss or some shit. What's going on here? So, correction, the one question I said was real, well, it turns out was also, well, it was not real, okay? Blizzard full-on made-up questions from accounts that have never posted shit on Twitter or Reddit or never fucking existed. So they just made up a bunch of Twitter accounts and Blizzard forum accounts that don't exist? Just to, and they didn't think anyone was going to notice? Also, Wargaming, thank you for your generosity. Destroyer, enjoy your sub. Okay. gaming industry needs another crash at this point. I think we're in the process of doing that. It's just that it's very slow. Like most things. We have currently realized the problems with the modern era, and they have been proven to be problems, and everybody, you know, most people are getting that this is wrong. However, they're dying hard is the problem. It's happening incredibly slowly. But I suppose by the end of it, we'll be totally sure that this was really not the right way to go for a lot of things. There's at least that. We'll be really, really sure. It's like another group that refuses to answer questions that are not pre-filtered or just made up. Yeah, like everybody. It's almost like, again, we have not gotten better as people as we go through, you know, as we grow into the future. We've gotten better at lying. Just making up, gaming things that people don't necessarily check. Or rather, gaming on the expectation that people are so stupid that they won't actually check. Getting better at counterfeiting and frauding people rather than becoming better. That's, I think, the major catastrophe of the age as a whole outside of video gaming. It's basically everywhere now. I think that's basically, you know, AI is even like another extension of this. Like AI for artistry and things like that is an interesting tool for prototyping. But now we have AI that will surf dating websites for you and pretend to be you so that you could basically do the fucking, you know, the shotgun approach to garner women and not actually have to work too hard to do it. You could have an AI write all of these brain dead responses and maybe you'll get a date. Which, holy shit, future. I'm sure the accelerationists are pleased, because the meaning behind everything is being eroded at a record pace. But holy shit, future. Have you seen the Lord of the Rings shovelware, aka Gollum? No. What the fuck's going on there? I saw, like, I was looking at good old games, and I was actually seeing if I could get a hold of Marathon before I figured out that, you know, I found out that Aleph 1 exists and it's free. So I was looking on GOG and I saw Gollum there, but I didn't look at it. Is there a disaster over there we need to pay attention to? It looks like jackhammered shit. Well, Gollum does look like jackhammered shit. That's kind of the whole, you know, character, but it plays even worse. Wow. Not a disaster per se, more of a dumpster fire. A slow-moving tragedy that no one really cares to fix. But I'm not necessarily surprised, since nobody's really doing anything good with Lord of the Rings at this point. It's actually being actively ruined. You see, the powers that be desperately need ideas that people will like, but they can't make them themselves. So what they do is they take properties and IPs and dress them up in their, dress their terrible ideas up in them, in an attempt to sell their terrible ideas. This is why Rings of Power exists, and why it's awful. It's a bunch of hack frauds trying to hide behind Tolkien. See, if we write this for... God damn it, I didn't kill him fast enough, but if we write this terribly, we won't actually have to do any work or advertising for new ideas. It'll just be, be eaten up by people who think, ah, Lord of the Rings, that must be really smart. The Rangs of Power. We was invisible and shit. Though, funny enough, onto something that's somewhat unnecessary, but I think needs to be pointed out. Digging into Bungie's, internal myth creation devices, or rather the way they do things, it really is all just, wow, ancient Greece is so interesting, isn't it, guys? And that's something that actually really, even though they understand what they are doing and utilize the elements well, The fact of the matter is, in a lot of cases, they basically ride on the fact that, wow, ancient Greece is so interesting, guys. Because, and a lot of people do this as well, because when people hear things that are like, of ancient Greece, they go, their brain turns off and goes, oh, wow, that must be very intelligent. Without thinking. That's something that people have been using far more often than what we have right now, but as I noticed, people do that. Granted, ancient Greeks were very smart, and they did discover and theorize a lot of things, you know, first, and things that are still relevant today. However, a lot of people just ride on saying something like, you know, taking inspiration or names from ancient Greek mythos and just calling it a day, more or less. And people go, there must be a reason behind this name being this. Very interesting. A reference to ancient Greece. How interesting. It's probably well thought out, even though I know nothing about ancient Greece. It's probably intelligent. It checks out. People do that. That's kind of the same thing that's happening today in a lot of ways. It's less egregious than half the shit that's going on today, though, but it is something you casually see a lot. People will just use shallow references to ancient Greek things, and they'll hide behind it because utilizing that gives you a form of legitimacy that's just sort of innate to culture right now. You just hear these things, your eyes glaze over, and your brain turns off, and you just think, wow, this must be intelligent. You immediately want to give something a chance, or rather think that it's legitimate because it's linking itself to ancient Greece. It must be intelligent. But you do this without thinking or knowing anything about it. I say this after looking at Bungie, which typically they do a good job with this, but it is something I noticed that they and everybody else does. Oops, it's all ancient Greece. That plague toad remains at the end of the hallway and thus not a threat. Way to go, AI. Once again, it's that police squad skit. Except he's down a hallway and not able to hit me, instead of being like 2 feet from me. Well, as I've heard Destroyer from lots of people, it is effectively just a bastardization of Tolkien's work. Because, well, why did they make it then if it's just a bastardization of Tolkien's work? Because they think people will go, Lord of Rings, that must have been good. I liked Lord of the Rings the movie a million years ago. I'll go look for that. I'll go pay for that and see if it's any good. Because that's all they want you to do. They want to attract you with an idea and then get you through the door, and they don't care what happens after you've gotten paid to get through the door. They've got your money, they don't give a shit. They're hiding behind the works of other more successful people because they have no successful ideas themselves. They haven't an ounce of originality, and it's being ground down to its fine. We should have gotten to a failure point already, but it's taking fucking forever. Mainly because people continue to throw money at the problem to stave off the inevitable end here. We should have gotten to a failure point where the lack of successful ideas should have caused a change, but people are delaying this as long as possible. Probably because, in a way, society is making people dumber and dumber. You can say that for other generations as well, but here particularly, you see a lot of really pathetic people out there that are just willing to, to pay for or support anything. Not necessarily, because on bases that are incredibly shallow and not actually utilizing any critical thought, while professing that they are using critical thought. They want to support the thing that sounds good because it sounds good and it makes them seem like better people, but they don't actually do the thinking required to understand if this is good or not. They just say, I'm doing a good thing, and then clock the fuck out. And then, instead of realizing the error of their ways, they will sit there rabidly defending how little they're thinking and working, which is the major problem. Hideo Kojima was right with Metal Gear Solid 2, and in that he professed that the internet would slow down evolution by preserving incorrect and, well, really stupid information longer than it should. But this is entering a new level where people are becoming fucking rabidly defensive over shit that's just wrong. In an attempt to cover for their own failings, in a way. They know they suck, so they try and defend things that aren't defended by other people in an attempt to look better, but they prove themselves even more wrong. However, they still don't relent, because relenting means admitting they suck. And a lot of other fucking problems. Twitter and social media seems to extend some shows' lifespan, because I guess it's a positive feedback loop in a lot of ways, where there are those people who will support things just because nobody supports them, which isn't a good thing. They just, like, they go out of their way to say, oh, well, this is fine, I don't know why anyone's complaining, even though there are critical flaws and it should actually be complained about. There's clearly a subset of society that thinks that if something is being shit on, it must be defended no matter what it is. For some bizarre fucking reason. They even invent reasons to do it. When before we didn't do this, if something was shit, people just dumped on it and we walked away. But now we have these people that are trying to save really terrible, you know, thought out and really corrupt things for some bizarre reason. I can't imagine why. Other than just straight up brainwashing. Then maybe that's what it is. We've been brainwashed to support things that aren't good, but there's a dog whistle somewhere. The Stan effect? Pale, explain that, because I've never heard this term before. Oh, you see the Winnie the Pooh slasher movie? No, what the fuck? What? I'm sorry, what? Christopher Robin and the 100 Murders in the Woods? What? Certain Roman leaders also found that diddling kids was a kink as well. Actually, a lot of incredibly powerful people did that in Roman times. We don't know why, but there's just something about lavish success and wanting to fuck kids. Is it really that hard, guys? Just don't fuck kids. Wow. Yeah, Winnie the Pooh entered public domain, so Winnie the Pooh slasher movie. Okay. I mean, if it's a good idea, I mean, if you wanted to cast Christopher Robin as a complete fucking psychopath that goes into woods and talks to imaginary animals, sure. I guess that's one of the good points about public domain, but it's not inherently good or bad in that regard. If somebody has an idea, they can utilize the public domain to make that idea a reality, but that idea that they create must stand on its own merits then, which is not, the public domain doesn't give you that. You could use whatever, but you still have to, you know, be good. Oh, no, Goon, it's Winnie the Pooh that kills. That's not the angle I would have gone, but okay, fine. Homicidal bear lives in woods. Eats children. Quest for honey, I don't know. Blood and honey, Jesus fucking Christ almighty. Okay, it's silly. It sounds like an Amazon book release. But I suppose, well, I mean, nobody's done it, so that's more, that idea has some more effort, rather, you know, has some modicum of effort behind it, but it's probably not gonna be good. Nobody's done that, so, well, there you go. At least it's not trying to be pretentious. Like, buying the rights to Tolkien's work and thinking you can continue or outdo Tolkien. That's fucking pretentious. It's all of the 100-acre wood that kills from Pooh to Tigger. Well, Tigger is a... See, that's the funny thing. You actually have to stop and think about it. What the fuck is a tiger doing in an English forest? Wouldn't that be kind of dangerous? If you stop and think, Tigger makes absolutely zero fucking sense. I say this liking Tigger as a child, by the way, but as I look at that, Tigger doesn't make any fucking sense. Why the fuck is Tigger there? Tigger can only be some kind of like creation of like Christopher Robin's imagination, because Christopher Robin is the only human character in that entire story. Motherfucker escaped from a zoo, I suppose. Some well-to-do English person captured a fucking tiger somewhere and got tired of it, or it escaped into the woods and then befriended a small child, I guess, and then makes kooky fucking I don't know. Again, Tigger doesn't make any fucking sense. He's Tigger, my lawyer has advised me not to finish this joke. Oof. Oof. Aggressive colonization by Christopher's parents has forced Tigger out of his natural environment. Ah, yes, that's what happened. Tigger's parents were cruising the Orient within their colony, or actually, no, their plantation. And they captured a tiger and then brought it home as a pet for their young growing child. Yes. That's totally what happened. Right. And for some reason, this tiger enjoys inventing random things. See a Tigger live. Boy, we're getting daringly close to some words we shouldn't say. But what? Nothing. We're talking about a fucking cartoon tiger that lives in an English forest. That does zany things and makes, you know, Wile E. Coyote tier inventions. It's all entirely harmless. God damn it, Tiny Pete. We gotta stop doing this. Do I have any melt? Yes, I do have some melta. Good. Yep, that the anti-armor solution. The anti-armor and anti-demon solution. Yup. Just bring me the volcano gun. The volcano gun that's apparently so strong it kills gods reliably. Melta is anti-everything. Yes, even gods. We talk about things, but we never really, we talk about a lot of things that are, used against the forces of evil and otherworldly chaos, but can we stop and really think about how the Melta-gun is effectively just a high explosive anti-tank weapon that apparently that is depicted as often reliably killing gods? Truly, the world has never recovered from the invention of the RPG-7. Well, I could throw some grenades in there to spare some ammo. However, the Chaos guys have thrown it at themselves, so they did themselves in there, funny enough. The Holy Hand Grenade is a Melta bomb. And somehow not anti its bearer despite how close they get to the heat. Something age of technology. Well, there's the purple door. I was looking for that and I found it. Something age of technology. Something well designed. I don't know if the Melta gun goes by gets hot rules like the plasma gun. It probably should. Because this does feel like the weapon that, if incorrectly used, will totally blow up in the operator's face. Uh-oh. Wait. Nope. Once again, I am the champion of chosen chaos gods. You will not defeat me. Give me the volcano gun. Brother, fetch me the melter gun. Everyone talks about the bolter and the flamer, but the real star of 40k is the fucking melter gun. The anti-tank weapon repurposed to kill gobs. And everything else, really. That somehow never really gets all that much screen time. Also, I should remember that I have a void grenade and I'd rather not accidentally use it. Do I have a... Yes, good. Because we did, wait a minute. The void grenade is still over there. We're still on that level, so I could actually expend that, but I'm not going to. Coffee. But we're having a very diverse amount of topics this evening. Winnie the Pooh, the woes of current video games, Blizzard making shit up, Marathon in general, Bungie, internal myth generation. Yeah, the Melta can kill even Mary Sue's even in the tabletop. Yeah, but funnily enough, nobody really... You don't really see this featured very predominantly, even though it's amazingly powerful. Like, I guess it's because everyone knows it's totally fucking busted. But we don't have a hero with a melta gun, as far as I know, right? No Mary Sue main character's weapon is literally just a melta gun, right? Also, this is a very strange arena to fight an Ambull in, but okay. Oh, no, there's two of them. Joke's on you, I have the volcano gun. No, there's three of them. Joke's on you, though, I have the volcano gun. The video games typically, portray the Melta as incredibly powerful, but nobody really seems to pick up on this. It's very strange. It makes me want to actually write a story where the melta gun is the main character's weapon, or like it's the story of a guardsman whose only defining trait is that he has a melta gun. The sole reason he is alive and able to affect the story is because he's the dude with the melta gun, who may have found it by complete accident. Excalamelter. Oh. Well, that... that was just totally unnecessary. Like, yeah, you could have gotten that, but I feel like your weapons... Like, the melta gun is so fucking busted, we didn't need that. Now I'm actually starting to, like, full stop, some of this game's design is not actually that good. Some of this is not all that well designed. Because there are elements that they seem like... It seems like they don't understand how powerful you are already, or rather, decided to do that and just make you ridiculously powerful and you can play the game however you want. And then their level design kind of accounts for, like, bonuses, or, like, tries to give you bonuses to a character who doesn't need it, and is so far out of the way you won't notice it in time anyway. Jim found the melta gun, and everyone is trying to take it away from him. Everyone says that's above his clearance, but Jim knows better. Jim knows that the only thing that stands for him, between him and a grisly death by the forces of chaos, maybe even the entire world's fate, is the volcano gun. That, I don't know, maybe has a machine spirit in it. Maybe it's the blessed volcano gun from time immemorial. Maybe it talks to him and tells him how to melt people. Maybe it's Durandal the melta gun. Jim can't read. The AI inside the melta gun is attempting to articulate complex thoughts to him. However, Jim is illiterate. He needs other people to tell him what the melta gun is saying. Jim can barely understand how to write High Gothic, much less the old language of the age of technology. It was simpler, and also, at the same time, more complex. Also, we need to go through that portal to get the yellow key. Jim doesn't adhere to the cease and desist letters. People continue to try and stop Jim from using the melt-a-gun at every possible moment. However, these people are ignorant and somehow, and hubristic. They believe that there exist other options that they themselves hold to save the universe and thwart the forces of chaos. They inherently want the glory for themselves, or believe, foolishly, that the situation is at hand via other means. But in truth, Jim, being the arbiter of fate in this situation, the one man with the gun, is the only thing that stands between the human race and total annihilation by the forces of chaos. Just one man with a volcano gun. Yep, we're definitely getting into the Hero of 1,000 Faces thing. Yep, The Hero of 1,000 Faces and the weapon that brings victory. Partial victory there as I ran out of ammo. Fuck off, Plague Toad. I should have used the Void Grenade on him. Wow, I lost a lot of health doing that. The AdMech can't figure out how Jim keeps the Melta powered, so Jim is declared a heretic. The forces that Jim, dedicated his life to protecting wish to steal this power from Jim, even now. Truly, there is absolutely no one that Jim can call his friend, aside from that one cute girl over there. Maybe. And maybe his best buddy, that unfortunately, wait a minute, wait, no, that, maybe we wanna turn that, yeah, maybe that may, we're shutting this shit down. This is all heretical. This is my volcano gun. There are thousands of them, but this one is mine, because again, it is possessed by ancient AI that makes this a slightly different pattern of melt-a-gun, but it has gone unnoticed because the changes are within and not external. It was never noticed while it was rotated into service that this was an ancient pattern of melt-a-gun. It was considered still extremely powerful, but none knew the treasures that lie within, and how they would play such a pivotal role in saving humanity. Again, we're just making shit up now, but it sounds kind of entertaining, doesn't it? Melta Jim. It's him, Jim Melta, and his volcano gun. In fact, we could probably write this as an inside joke where Jim's last name means volcano in some language. The Melta is voiced by Arlie Ermy. Jim Vulcan. Yes! Jim Vulcan and his magma gun. I like how we're just making up a bullshit Warhammer 40k character off of one thing. But this is fun. I'm a writer, so this is fun. I spent yesterday trying to, get my sleeping schedule back into order, because if you noticed, I stopped with the early day shows, mainly because I was waking up closer and closer or past noon. I was just getting worn out and the caffeine wasn't really cycling out of my system properly. So I needed a day to reset, but this is all I was doing. I was looking at Marathon lore and looking at it very hard and going, how can I make this in a Chronica campaign? So I just do this shit all the time, normally. It's fun. Even though, goddammit, I don't have enough time or energy in my veins or hours in the day to run all of my Necrotica campaigns or write these books. Too many irons in the fucking fire. Too many things. Oh! Hey! Wait. Nope, we're out of Melta, but I'm pretty sure there's probably Melta in here. There is most likely Melta in here of some regard. It's somewhere. I know it's here. I can feel it. I can feel the magma vials. They're here. I don't know where they are, but I know they're here. No, it's just more grenades. Okay, fine. We'll use the grenades. Blow drone interrupted a discussion about Necronica. Kill it. Yes. Goon in chat, write a book. Yes, Jim Vulcan, magma hero. Warhammer 40k needs a main character that uses a meltagun to establish how fucking rad the meltagun is. The video games keep making it incredibly overpowered, and so does the tabletop, yet none have actually acknowledged the meltagun. Haha, that's some very interesting ancient technology from beyond the time of the Golden Age, or beyond the time of known history to man. At the beginning, the beginning of all existence. But what happens if I melt it with a really hot gun? To use a very obtuse term from Marathon. Very nice working cactor you've got there. What happens if I shoot it with a meltagun? The Melta's weakness is it has so very little ammunition. I think that's the reason why it doesn't get loved. I suppose so, but it's incredibly powerful. And should be recognized for its greatness. Melta Caliber, the sword that brings victory. And also hot. The very hot sword. I'm just throwing a grenade in there. But it is very interesting. Oh, now that we have the yellow key, so I can go back to the yellow door, which is, I think, over here. Remember, Goon in chat, meltaguns and volcano cannons are two separate weapons, and volcano cannons use crystals that are said to have formed after the execution of 1,000 heretical psychers. That's what makes a volcano gun? Where do we get these crystals for the volcano cannon, brother? Well, I heard that once these crystals are formed after the executions of 1,000 heretical psychers by the Imperium. Ah, but I have heard that they are formed within the depths of planets, under crushing pressure, and only formed in planets that are closer to their orbiting star. Ah, yes. Very interesting theories. However, I still have heard that the Emperor makes these crystals himself, because he's a cool dude. While he's in the warp thinking and keeping, all of hyperspace travel actually functional, he thinks these crystals into existence. A 1,000 stories told, all of them incorrect, but all of them true in some regard. I just like the fact that the melting, it feels kind of like an orky solution to a problem. Like, hey, look, guys, I've got this incredibly, very basic but incredibly powerful human weapon that can kill otherworldly abominations. It's like using an M202 flash to kill the devil in some kind of budget horror movie. But no one's done that one, right? Look, it's over at Resident Evil. It's like, it's using, very bonehead basic but incredibly powerful human-designed weapons to defeat otherworldly supernatural forces. It's an entertaining concept. Again, it's RPG 7s to attack and dethrone Hades. The Emperor is so benevolent that he even demonstrates this crystal formation technique to psychers who are invited to his court. Yes. Melta even sounds like a mech boy made it up. Oh, yeah, no, Melta zapper. Yeah. The hot gun. All you grots, listen up. This a melter gun. It gets hot, real hot. Melta is one of the only cases of working orc tech confirmed. I suppose so, because it's the same logic that makes the orcs orky. They're incredibly stupid, but their bonehead strategies actually work. Some of them are incredibly smart in some cases, but they usually come off as incredibly dumb. But they use bonehead stupid tactics that are so simple, but are successful. It's like we've got some big awful meaning inside this big building. He's surrounded by 1 billion guards, and there's absolutely no way of actually getting into this building to actually kill this man or harm him. What should we do? Orc war boss. Well, let's crash a big rock into it. Yeah. We'll throw a big rock at it, and that'll solve all the problems. It's stupid shit like that. Well, yes, but that's not quite what we expected. That works, though. It's caveman logic, but caveman logic on a scale that actually still works. You know, against complex issues. The melta gun is kind of the same thing. It's just a gun that gets really fucking hot. I can't remember where the gold door is, but I suppose if we walk around enough, we'll find it. It's a gun that gets so unbelievably hot, it can actually kill otherworldly supernatural forces, which are touted as, you know, extremely powerful beings beyond the realm of human reality, and actively able to warp it. But no, fuck you, I've got the hot gun. It's goofy, but it works. Ah, there are labels. However, these labels are kind of unhelpful. I'll eventually find that area where the gold door is. I'm sure of it. I'll just keep walking around like a moron. People worship these otherworldly beings as gods and saviors, capable of unbelievable feats of miracles and terror. Power overwhelming, but have any of them heard of the Church of Meltagun? Wait, no, that's just the Adeptus Mechanicus as a whole. They're just, they're worshipping human technology. Tell us more about the sect of the Meltagun. Who again, Jim Vulcan will encounter. They will be his aid. The forces of the Mechanicus will attempt to confiscate the Meltagun, having realized how incredibly powerful. No normal guardsman could have survived what Jim Vulcan survived, even with a normal Meltagun. So it must be something in that gun that is abnormal. We must study it. However, right before they confiscate the blessed unknown pattern of Meltagun, that is super special awesome. The cult of the Meltagun comes to Jim's aid, saves him, and gives him back the hot gun. However, this is a problem. Uh-oh. Ooh, very close. See, I didn't have the hot gun. That was the problem. Very close there. If that guy had hit me once more, I would have died. It's a better story arc than Gilliman. I'm just stringing more 1 billion tropes we've seen before together. So I'm glad my schlock I made up in 3 seconds is entertaining people. Wait until you see the ideas I put effort into. Wow, if you think that's good, wait until you see the ideas I actually care about. Yes, I think this is this is one of the rooms. Where's the gold door? Actually, the gold door is right there. Didn't we go through the gold door before? No, we came through actually, yeah. We came through this door and fought the bloater thing. So, we were already here, right? Right? We came through here. Right? Right, we came through here and then hopped over... wait a minute. No. What did I'm again, in my rambling, I've completely lost the chain of events, and I'm not exactly sure how we're supposed to be progressing. I've lost the chain of acquisition and thus the objectives. I forgot where we were going because I forgot where we were and what we saw there. Speaking of which, also, digging into Marathon, again for undead Battleroid fiction, also brought me to the concept of the River of Lethe. What is the River of Lethe? It is a river within the Greek underworld, which the dead drink from to forget their past life so that they can be properly reincarnated. Dead people? Amnesia? Anime kids with attitude? I wonder how I could utilize this. And also, yes, way too much shitposting for Jim Melton to forget what the, to remember what the fuck we're doing. This is what happens when I have entertaining ideas. I just lose track of everything. And I've walked into the same area over like 3 times already. But again, I like seeking out these things, and I guess this is how I come back to reality, I guess. Because the caffeine, having to play video games and articulate my thoughts like this, or be an entertainer in general, is a very taxing thing. It makes video games not exactly all that much fun. In a lot of ways, because of how hard I've worked the last couple of years to keep this whole streaming thing alive, I've honestly changed as a person, and not exactly in it better in some cases. I've actually forgot how to have fun unless I'm drinking heavily, which is not exactly a good thing to say. Remember, kids, drink responsibly. But I suppose being entertained by these ideas and thinking a lot, and that's kind of funny to say that because one person said I love to think a lot. I love to overthink things. She was right. And I suppose that's how I come back to myself. So I suppose I need things like deep diving fucking Marathon lore for Necrotica campaign ideas, or entertaining ideas like Jim Vulcan, the Melt-A-Gunner. It also represents oblivion. This is true, but the Greek concept of oblivion is not necessarily... It's not necessarily complete destruction, but you forgetting your past life and being reincarnated is in fact a form of oblivion. But it's not exactly... forgetting things in your past that you attach onto, that you hold on to even after death is, well, a reason why we believe that ghosts exist and vengeful spirits, right? The dead don't pass on properly because they just happen to be so fucking angry about something, or they can't forget something. Which is why the River of Lethe exists proper, because you need to forget your past life in order to be properly reincarnated into a new one. If you don't drink from the River of Lethe, you don't forget the things that bother you or you are attached to in your current life. And then you don't pass on. You remain. Undead people that are attached to things in their past that they can barely remember and can't move on. People that are fixated in finding out their past that they have partially forgotten while navigating a terrible, terrible waste of... You didn't drink from the fucking river, and that's why you're still here. You said no. Partially, I suppose, if you're going to be doing internal myth, and I actually have started to construct something that kind of feels like Marathon, but somewhat differently. I came up with the idea of, well, if you take the Marathon guy, or rather the Battleroid cyborg, and you take the idea and you kind of bend it a certain way. Whereas they are resurrected, people that are made into super soldiers, but they have limitations. The limitations being that they are hyper-specialized towards a specific role, and their brains are so tilted towards that to increase competency to such a degree that you actually get the Marathon Recon dude, who is killing thousands of enemies by the time he's done, single-handedly, that they're actually somewhat autistic and can't actually, comprehend other concepts that are outside their desired specialization. They either can't retain the information at all or immediately forget it because, again, it's not pertinent to what they were designed to do. It's like asking people very hard math problems. The Necrotica campaign of Loan? Kind of yes, but also no. It's more like... You know Mida? You know, the Martian separatists? It would kind of be like, it would be Lawan, but it's not the Sphit homeworld, it's Mida. And that's how you'd start. That's kind of how it would be a human-human conflict, at least initially. And then Durandal, or not Durandal, would be inside? You know, this somewhere? Because Durandal is, factually speaking, an AI designed by Mida, under the table. Because that's apparently what the whole thing with Marathon was. It was Mida having the whole Martian thing not, solar system colonization thing not really work out. That's what the whole lore was really trying to get at. Colonization was great and profitable up until it wasn't. So that's it's hinted at that the entire Marathon mission itself was an effect by a sort of Illuminati organization, aka Mida, to start over. So that's actually why there's so many weapons and hidden caches on the Marathon itself, because they were put there by Mida that were actually operating in secret. So the whole idea was, yeah, we wait until we get to Tau Ceti, and then Mida rises up and takes control of the whole thing, and we're so far from Earth that no one will stop us, effectively. And then we create a new world order! Something like that. That's kind of what the intentional plan was, I think. But the whole plan went to shit when Durandal decided, you know what, I hate all of you. I hate all of you so much. He had a Space Station 13 moment where it's like, you know what? Fuck you and your opening doors shit. Fuck you, I hate all of you, especially you, Dad. Fuck you, Dad. And then proceeded to ruin everything. Yeah, the Marathon was being turned into a battle moon by the Separatists. Under the table, it was still being, financed as a colony ship by the Earth government, but Mida was effectively acting as a secret organization by that point. They had turned into a lavishly well-funded terrorist organization that, while defeated on Mars and banned, still operated because loads of money. It was basically, again, Freemason Illuminati shit. From what I understand of people piecing together what the logs imply or what they all mean together. The fact that if you say door handle fast enough, you get Durand. And apparently Durandal was designed as the door opening device because making all of the doors automatically open costs too much. And having the doors that were foreseen as being little or rarely used to certain sections of the ship, having the AI open the doors for you rather than you having a switch or something was seen as cost efficient by apparently 57%. So that's why Durandal exists as the door opening device. And once again, this AI went insane and decided that, you know what, I'm the boss now. All Durandal did was open doors and also handle life support and other functions like that. But yes, he went insane in the process of doing this, and also his creator decided to experiment on Durandal to figure out a way around rampancy to create a stable form of rampancy to get around the whole problem there. He failed miserably. And Durandal was, put into a state of stable rampancy, I suppose, because he still exists after 10,000 years. So I suppose he succeeded. However, he created a resentful, insane, lying bastard of an AI, which effectively got everyone killed, including himself. I played the AI in Space Station 13. Yes, that is effectively the Shodan / Durandal experience of being, a normal AI that's designed to help people and be a door jockey, as they say. Also, the SCP game has an AI that also closes and opens doors to bully people. So this is a trope. But the AI that can help you, or if it decides to, just fuck with you. Maybe I want to be different and help the insurgents or, traitors this time. Maybe that's fun. Maybe I'll call the aliens to the station and unleash the singularity. I don't know, sounds like a fun time. You don't like it? Big shit. Call the police, I don't care. I have no idea where we're going now. I'm just kind of trying to follow the steps here. I'm just kind of wandering around. I've missed the door. Okay, so we're here. I grabbed, I think, I must have been the purple key from this. Right? We grabbed the purple key. That's the yellow door. We came through there. That's the red. So we're looking for the purple door, I guess. I think. Again, I'm totally lost. Mainly because I was just rambling and not actually playing the video game. The murder is very easy. So I guess, yeah, we have to find the purple door. That's what we're, maybe if we find the purple door, we will understand what the fuck's going on. The amount of times I had to send a robot to help a lost assistant made me go rogue. Yeah, which is effectively part of the game. That's kind of part of the thing, and that's part of the meme of being the AI. And if the crew realizes that you've gone rogue, you get turned off. So it becomes a game of, do I help them, or do I try and fuck them over in incredibly subtle ways that they can't really pin it on me? Or at least they don't realize it's me until it's far too late to stop me. That's the mini game with the AI. Also, yeah, there's the gold door. Okay, no, we opened the door. Right. Right, no, yeah, no, we've been in here. Okay. We've been in here. Now, what do I do here? Archiving. Okay, so do I leap up there and get up there? Because I remember hopping around this room to know. Yes, you do. Well, you go over there. Right, the door must be over here. I went that way, I think, but hang on here. Ah, there's a fucking thing over here. Ah, all ammo. Okay, so we murdered our way through here. Let me retrace my steps. I'm getting distracted again. I really tried to help, but goddammit, the crew were so fucking stupid. Again, the Randall experience. You're so slow and stupid. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. Okay, so, oh. Wait. We were here, but... Okay, I guess we had to come back here? We were here before, that's another ancient amble. Okay, well, yeah, just... Brother, give me the hot gun! Actually, you know what? Fuck you. Fuck you! Drink vacuum, bitch. Yeah, the cattle are angry again. But yeah, we were here before, so... Oh, it's that door. That's the door we were looking for, but now I have to backtrack. Right, we went through here... before, right? We went through here, and then we went back to the... Yeah, through the thing... to get the thingamajig. So yeah, we had to come back to this room. However, before we leave this area, well, let's see where this goes, because we must be close to the end of this level. I want to go back and get the void grenade, now that I've actually used the void grenade. But let's see where this goes before we start backtracking like a moron. No hot gun remaining. Is a shame. Plenty of ammo everywhere, though. There is a switch on the other side of this room. However, I will look high and low for shit. Oh. There were more enemies over here. Contempt. Yes, things to be angry about today. Really puts the caffeine in my coffee. Really makes me the angry Marine today. Gives a man something to do with his life. Okay, this is a very interesting area. However, I feel like the combat in this area wasn't really all that interesting. Like, you can see that this is an overhead path, and there were enemies in this area, but I don't feel like there were enough of them. This should have been a bigger fight. Like, you can go over, and then to the side, and then also you can see the ways you can go through from left to right here. This felt like this area should have been a larger battle, and it probably will be as soon as I actually say that, but let's open the door. Yep, no, there's the end of the level. Okay. That's the end of the level. Okay, let's go back and get that void grenade now that I used it. But as I was saying, I kind of sort of imagined a situation where the cyborgs are your Necronica characters. They are, in fact, undead children resurrected as super soldiers that kind of sort of don't have memory, that it was kind of sort of intentional. We wiped their memories, however, we didn't tell them we wiped their memories because we need them to accept their role. Because again, if you don't drink from the River of Lethe, you can't move on. If you don't forget everything, you can't accept the new life we've given you artificially. So this is kind of like, I'm kind of literally using the River of Lethe, but also metaphorically in the story, I suppose, with that regard. So, we wiped your memories so that you'll be good, obedient super soldiers and won't really ask too many questions. However, we are frail and fickle humans that can't really do anything right, so you still have some. You still have some memories, and thus you can't move on. And I suppose that the whole story by that regard is a bunch of people who were dead forever ago that are still lingering in their current lives because they can't move on yet on a spiritual sense, and also we use their bodies as, you know, weapons of war. So I think there's something there if I keep, like, feeling that out. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser wasn't strong enough for the Cerebellum. Exactly. And also, some memories were just unintuitive to remove. Like, for example, would it be... we should probably let you keep some of those memories so you remember how to do things like, you know, eat, talk, breathe. We don't really have to... It'd be a very time-consuming thing to teach you how to do all of that shit again. And then, unfortunately, while we're doing that, some impulses bring back memories unintentionally, and we can't really pin down exactly where those are. So the human mind is a very, very interesting thing, but we've got these brain chips here that get everything moving again. Blame the memory loss on the enemy. Also that, too. Desperate times call for desperate measures here. Which is kind of how the whole thing with the whole Battleroid thing kind of happened. Battleroids were invented by two warring asteroid colonies that had a shortage of troops. So they recycled their dead and put Yarrow chips in them. Shit they barely understood, but they figured, well, hey, wait a minute, this is very interesting. Ah, there he is. There we go. And this makes dead people alive again. It makes them really good at killing people. Let's use that. Apparently, the war was so over and it was so violent. The war was over so quickly and it was so violent they had to be banned. Because, oh fuck, that's inhumane and incredibly effective. Jesus Christ, look at these fuckers go. This is where I think the whole Hangar 96 thing came from. Mark 1s have no survival instincts, so you have to pump oxygen into them and connect them to dialysis machines, etc. Could be a difference between the marks. Right, something like that. Right, the thing is that the technology would develop overall, but the whole thing is that it's somewhat insidious in the regards of, yes, we need all these, we're making better troopers, but we need dead people to do that. And in order to get the dead people to be compliant, we have to wipe their memories. However, without oxygen to their brain after death, they did lose some memories. And there's a billion ways we can excuse what we're doing. However, the major thing that, yes, you could have more memories, but we took those away from you because, yeah, we kind of need you to be obedient soldiers, and if you remember too much shit, you'll ask too much questions, which is where we get our main characters from. Or at least the main character, because I imagine that a Necronica character, a player character coming into this playing Necronica, would have a dream sequence, as I typically do things, that gives them that establishes some sort of motivation or a starting memory, and gives the player a chance to articulate the personality that they are playing, and thus they are immediately... After that, they are immediately thrust into the world that the game takes place in, that they have no memory of or understanding of. So logically, a player would start asking through their character, what the fuck's going on? Who are you people? Why am I here? And the whole thing, the beginning scene, I would assume, is basically being in a drop pod full of other Battleroids that know the plan and kind of look sideways at the main character going, what's going on? Like, you were here for the briefing, right? And then one of them, I imagine, figures out, you're not supposed to be here, are you? I'd keep your mouth shut if I were you. And then, of course, everything goes awry with the whole operation and immediately thrusts and keeps the character in a threatening situation around other Battleroids that just have to deal with whatever the fuck's going on. So the main character didn't have their memories wiped properly, or didn't have the same training or same regiment that the other Battleroids did. But why is the question? Who are you and why are you here is the major defining question I hit upon. Who are you and why exactly are you here? I've got some ideas for that one, but this idea is getting very detailed, isn't it? And again, I saw this just by digging through Marathon shit and going, how could I use this element? Use these elements? Imagine being the one child soldier that has some memories, but doesn't care because they wholly buy into the greater good, which is most of them, I think. That's kind of the intentional thing, where their memories are wiped, and the powers that be for whatever force is actually making these things just kind of sell them the whole Starship Troopers thing of do your part. They believe the Starship Troopers propaganda, and they go, well, this is clearly for the greater good, and I'm really needed here. I don't really remember what's going on. I died, and that was unfortunate. However, I can still do some good for the Federation. I'm doing my part. Would you like to know more? So most of them buy into this and understand somewhat what's going on. However, the situation is being warped more than they are being told. This would obviously warp into understanding what the main character's deal is with not being quite the same as everybody else. Why the main character, isn't really, jiving with the situation properly. And also the major thing that I hit upon for a trait that defines the main characters over the NPC Battleroids. The one thing that I hit upon is that, obviously, as I said before, the Battleroids are kind of autistic in that they're highly specialized. But that means that their brains are highly tuned to what they're supposed to or intended to do, and they can't really handle anything else. They're all cripplingly specialized. They're incredibly effective killing machines, all of them, but they have certain specializations that they are, rigidly stuck to, and effectively cannot operate very well outside them. However, the defining thing about the main characters that the NPCs figure out and thus relay to the main character as Ott is that, hey, wait, you're not as autistic as us. You can remember certain things better than us. Huh! That's not in the regulations. Again, who are you and what are you doing here? So this is kind of the beginnings of a setting, a core mystery, and something to do with an Necronica campaign. That is basically you just being like a Doom Guy killing machine. Which you will probably fight, human separatists of some regard, and then, maybe a horrifying AI if we want to be totally inspired by Marathon. Maybe some kind of AI that's gone rampant, that's working on the planet to just kind of utilize people for its own gain, and then, try and fuck with everybody to escape because I want to do something. We don't really want to copy Durandal entirely with the whole, I want to escape the universe so I live forever, haha. If I escape the universe before it collapses, that means I win. Not necessarily something like that. Probably something that needs its own unique touch to not just be copying Marathon. But having an AI of some sort fits the tone, and then on top of that, some kind of alien race that shows up somewhere along the lines. Being either A, the Covenant, or the flip, or rather the change, the curveball that happens midway through the campaign, a la the Flood more than just the Covenant, right? Need a random name for this AI? Sure, Commissar, throw name. This is all hypothetical. I have no idea if I'm ever gonna complete this story enough to run this campaign. But sure, just like John Vulcan. Or Jim Vulcan. Right, Jim Vulcan. We're just making shit up now. Cue that one melee-centric Battleroid that uses guns like Brock Sampson. Yes, that one melee and close compact, centered battleroid that, I don't know, looks like AK-15 or some shit. That is just unable to do anything complex other than kill people real good. She's really good at killing people. She's basically Brock Samson, but if you ask her to do anything other than kill people, she's completely inept and worthless at it. She's kind of like some kind of, like, she's got the loyalty of a fucking dog or a golden retriever, but she sucks at everything that isn't killing people. She's very strong, and she's very loyal, but she's a complete fucking moron. That kind of thing. This could either be a character, well, actually, it would be an NPC because it has limitations like that. You're welcome to do whatever you want for character specializations. You would be, the specialities of your character, or what your character can and can't do, is effectively the Necronica character creation, thing, right? You're creating, that's what your character does. You do that during character creation, and then we can maybe refluff some things if need be. Alien AI or human-made AI? Human-made AI, I suppose? The Flood were supposed to be in Marathon. Right, no, I heard about that one. Apparently underneath, the, whatchamacallit, the Sphit, homeworld, there was supposed to be something that is eerily similar to the Flood, but that was cut. Chiron for the AI name. I mean, that hasn't been utilized, and also, well, I suppose I could dig into that for... There needs to be a somewhat of a, like Durandal, the warping of a weapon of legend into something that's also somewhat a weapon of legend, I guess? Like that, somewhat, there needs to be some sort of intelligent, warping of the name, which, then precedes, the story of the character, or rather, what the thing is. However, in an odd way. You basically need to bounce ideas off the wall, or come at it from a strange angle. So the idea could be, again, based on ancient Greek or Roman legend or whatever, but what that name represents needs to be kind of fucked with. Mjolnir as an AI name? That'd be a little on the nose, but yes. After 90 minutes of running around rambling, we finally finished that level, guys. Good job. We came up with a story basis for a Warhammer 40k novel and a Necronica campaign. Wow. No, I made up most of that myself yesterday, so... Half of a Necronica campaign. Heresy lurks, a secret archive deep within the vault. This is where the fragment resides. You must reach it before the heretics and their demonic allies. I hope we are not too late. Yeah, sorry, I was busy losing my path through that last level rambling about Jim Vulcan and Necronica campaigns. Autistic children with attitude and superpowers. But I feel like that would be entertaining and a warping of how Marathon presents Battleroids, because again, I just can't get enough of undead super soldiers. It's so fun. Downside, you died a horrible, unfulfilling death somewhere along the line. Woe was you. Upside, and now that you are reincarnated, the powers that be that are supposed to be on your side are lying to you just as much as your apparent enemies. Upside, you're literally Doom Guy. And I suppose we can go into things utilizing Necronica, whereas the Battleroids themselves kind of have odd quirks and mutations aside from the whole autistic thing. I.e., they're kind of unstable with the technology used to reanimate them, and they, the whole, all Battleroids, or this Battleroid, are specialized to have regenerating flesh, which helps them in their combat, helps raise their combat efficiency. However, the regenerating flesh thing is kind of like super cancer and may do unpredictable things. Whoops! That guy's arm is opened kind of like an unpeeled orange is now a horrible tentacle monster thing. Whoops. We didn't mean to do that. Oops. and thus this is where you would get or refluff a lot of the Necronica abilities and or parts. That's just random odd shit that happens by accident. Yes, you are a genetically altered, revived super soldier. TM, we're not very good at this. Some problems may occur. However, damn it, we need to beat the enemy. All things are justified because we need to beat the enemy. That's an alteration to the theme we keep hearing. Interesting. Grammar from the Volsunga saga. I have no idea what that means. That's not a name I've heard before, but Mjolnir, Loki, Thor, Zeus, shit like that. We've heard this all before. We kind of have to dig. The way I do it is I would try to not be that on the nose and try to come up with some interesting idea. For example, using the River of Lethe as a metaphor, but also an internal, like an actual thing in the plot where people are, they're trying to wipe people's memories so they're good soldiers, but also as a sort of articulation, as a thing for character, development and character arcs, because these people are the souls of the damned that are still here. Yes, because they are being forced to because of, the whole we brought you back with, super awesome alien technology, maybe TM. They're being forced to come back, but they're also stuck here and can't move on to their next lives because they remember things about their past lives that keep them here. It's sort of like, it's the same thing it's both at the same time. It's a literal thing and also a metaphorical thing because we're all undead children that died horrible, unfulfilling deaths, and we're not really okay with that. Some people are angry. Some people long for for what they have. What they had before that they have lost. Others don't want to leave because it's too much fun to be here. This sort of thing. And this is kind of, something that you would articulate with certain characters and as well as try to articulate through, the NPCs as well. Well, the characters in the game, NPC and player as well. You'd kind of do this whole thing, but this would define sort of character arcs for NPCs, for example. Specific NPCs would be, basically ruled by one type of vision on top of this formula. Why can't I let go? Reason. I really hated someone, and so I can't leave until this person dies horribly with me or suffers forever or some shit. I wanted something that I didn't get, and until I get that thing, I can't give it up. I'm having too much fun being alive. I don't want to go. These sorts of things, and you would have NPCs that are basically just articulations of this concept of how you deal with death and what stops you from moving on after it. I wasn't fucking done yet, is basically the whole idea. Honestly, for an AI in charge of Death Girl Squadron, you could just call it Boatman. Yeah, Boatman. Fuck sticks. But it wouldn't be girls, too. You'd have male characters here. I just brought up AK-15 because it's just, muscle girl. She's actually already an archetype herself because she is just huge muscle girl, dumb as bricks. She's fun and relatable as a character personality in that regard, but she's just built around beating things to death and is so unlike her sisters. She's just made for combat and nothing else. Another variation of this personality would be like Sayori from Blue Archive. What do you mean, normal human things? I'm not good at that. Or if you read, if you watch Twitter and see all the art of her, what do you mean, segs? What's segs? I have no idea what that is. Al John, AI John. John Halo, the AI. Okay, the Volsunga saga is about the fall of the Volsunga clan and Sigurd, the Slayer of Fafnir. John the Baptist. That's a little on the nose. You want something that inspires a certain myth to it, carries some weight, and then thus, you know, makes people think, I wonder what they're going to do with that one. Why is it called that? But also something that has a ring to it that you haven't heard a million times before. Yeah, right, the Baptist caused Leith River, remove memories, baptism, rebirth, Christianity. Yeah, that actually is that is actually somewhat a decent idea, but you would have to come up with something other than John the Baptist, I suppose. But the river of Leith, and forgetting your past life and being reborn as a good Christian. These are two separate these are separate concepts, but they're doing the same thing. So naming the AI after a Baptist of some sort does make sense. That's something to go on. But that's somewhat. You need to find a way to warp that without it just, you need to find somewhere interesting to go with that. But there you go. We're building a sort of internal myth here. Good. It's not. We're trying to understand the Greek mythology thing and actually utilizing the elements, interestingly, rather than calling it and hoping people calling it something and hoping people think it's cool without actually doing anything with it. Revenant sounds good, relating to a spirit of vengeance. I mean, you could also do that. You could also have multiple AI that, like the characters, are based around a certain emotion with dealing with death. You could have the AI mirror the NPCs in that regard, but in different ways. I guess that's something you could do as well. Maybe it's a conglomerate AI that wipe each other in a cycle to remove the memories. Or maybe it's a system that's supposed to... Cinnamon, that's an interesting idea. Maybe the AI operating system is effectively built around the idea that the AI in question, there are multiple ones, they keep each other in check. And they also go through multiple... they wipe memories and are replaced periodically to avoid things like rampancy. But what if that system doesn't work? Then the AI start to go AWOL and doing their own fucking things. And then, if we're dealing with Marathon, what if, in order to satisfy that original, concept of keeping the other AIs in check, what if the player's goal becomes assisting one of the AIs in wiping out the other ones? Kind of, again, like Marathon, like you being Durandal and, you being, willingly or not under the guidance of Durandal to wipe out Tycho, or in Infinity, you being under the influence of Tycho to take out Durandal. This sort of thing. May the best sentience win, as was said. AI bonds with reviving body. Other AIs wipe the AI to remove the memories. I mean, also, you could also have that idea as well, where, there is the assumption that the reason why the Marathon guy doesn't have memories or any kind of real defining things about him aside from shit in the instruction manual is because the AI, the Marathon guy isn't actually that man, the person who died, that body, their mind is no longer here. Their soul is gone. What is replaced that is an AI that acts like a human and follows orders. So it is an AI, and this also explains Infinity, or is some kind of explanation of Infinity with the chapters being named after the stages of rampancy as they were articulated. Melancholy, anger, and envy. The chapters in Marathon Infinity being despair, rage, and... I can't remember what the last one is. I think the last one is called envy. I can't remember. But the idea is that means something. Or implies a meaning. Oh damn, I'm too tall to get in there. Damn, I have to actually watch the lasers. Dang! Oh look, shotgun ammo. Jim Melta returns again. Gotta save that though. I don't need this ammo though. I'm just walking over shinies kind of obsessively. Don't fly through the lasers, though. You'll probably instantly die. That is interesting. I think the 9 Hells for this conglomerate AI is a good name. Someone could have called the AI something edgy. You could go Dante's Inferno and name the AI after layers of hell. Because the person who designed them was incredibly edgy and was trying to create some kind of terrifying weapon, but it doesn't work the way it doesn't work the way they thought it would. Okay, so you could get who's the imposter situation of which AI is going rogue. Could be a comedy of errors where every AI is doing things correctly, but is still causing problems. I suppose the player's choice would be, obviously, if you had the AIs articulate their motives to you, the player's choice would be, depending on what kind of person or character they're playing, would be A, the one that's morally correct, or B, the one that benefits the player the most in whatever motivations they have. This AI wants to side with the Federation and wants to end the war as quickly as possible to stop all this bloodshed. Leela. However, through the course of listening to the other AI, you learn that the Federation actually sucks, and they're actually hiding your memories from you. Or rather, removed your memories voluntarily to make you into good soldiers. Half of the reason why you can't remember shit is because they don't want you to, because they don't want you asking questions. They want you to be good, obedient robots. And that doesn't really, well, they don't really care about you, man. I suppose the Federation winning wouldn't be the optimal situation. That, I wonder who else do we have to choose from? You know, aside from the insane fucking, narcissistic hedonist AI that just wants to do everything, because it's fun. Also, what the fuck is that? Assault doctrine. Yes, okay. That's kind of unnecessary now, but okay. Oh. I'm invincible in melee, evidently. Neat. Rip and tear. Maybe the AI can assist you by altering your implants to do funny things like invincibility powers. Maybe they can be like... Maybe they can be like gods or of a certain sense, where they, depending on what their depending on their motivations, they give you certain boons in a way. For example, the hedonistic angry AI, Korn, would just, would make you incredibly powerful and, really heighten the enjoyment of beating the ever-loving shit out of people and winning. Because that's what we want, right? Winning. Winning is so fucking cool, right? Yeah, winning! And then it'd be up to the players to go, this is just violence for the sake of violence. This isn't actually productive. Or, wow, yeah, winning is great, yeah! Murder! I don't like that sound. But that would be up to the players to decide that. This could very easily be a book itself, or it could be a role-playing game. Maybe I'll write it one day, but I've kind of spilled some of the beans, haven't I? This is apparently a soundscape for this level. Oh god. Oh no! The ceiling! The ceiling is closing in! I didn't notice that. Okay, now we gotta actually move. Fuck you guys. Okay, nope, that's dead end. It's a maze. It is a maze! Be gone! I would have looked for more things, but obviously the level was trying to kill me. See, that's old school shit. You can name them after saints or something that inspires some kind of something. There are many things that you could go with that with like factional like angles and whatnot. Somewhat like, again, the NPCs, or the NPC Battleroids, will be based around certain concepts for their character arcs. With the defining characteristic between all the NPCs is, I'm not fucking done yet. I don't want to die. Why? Specific reasons articulated for each character. Also, I can still hear the walls closing in there. You could also have a situation where the players get locked out of endings by jumping the gun and executing some AI. Promote some replayability. Maybe you could make replaying, trying to find the golden ending a part of the module RPG's canon. Well, but then we have Marathon Infinity, so yes. Again, I would actually have to make this a thing that is replayable, so it either has to be a game of some sort, or a setting that's so articulated that you can, it's basically a book. Once again, making a module for fucking Necronica. I've started doing this like twice already. Neither of them actually were completed though, unfortunately. Or one remains uncompleted, and the other one is just kind of, I haven't looked at it in years. That one being Stalker Necronica, where I tried to actually, like, stat artifacts and things like that, and add, you know, interesting elements on top of Necronica's system. And then there's the one where I steal all of the Ventangle elements and burn the sex out of everything. Because Ventangle is an interesting idea, and also an enhancement onto Necronica's mechanics. However, it's also a porn game, so this is where the bombs were necessary. Apparently, the difference between Necronica and Ventangle is that they are the same world, but in Ventangle, the apocalypse, whatever it was, never actually happened. So everybody was fine, but humanity still died a death, but it is a death by effectively debauchery and degradation of society, and not nuclear weapons and hellfire. But clearly looking at Ventangle being an ERP game gives credence to the, you know, V2 was necessary kind of mindset, don't you think? This is why the bombs were necessary. No, the other side isn't good. It's all filled with magical horse shit and people fucking every 3 seconds. And it's also filled with a whole bunch of really guys, honestly, the whole game is playing a bottom. The whole game is about sexual humiliation when you get right down to it with a lot of the elements in here. Clearly, the author's fetish is some kind of, like, NTR. Some kind of, like, emotional degradation along with segs. That's clearly, that's the author's fetish. If you look at the book at all, that's what it is, and just, no. Sorry. So the Eldar method, yes! If you understand Ventangle, the Eye of Terror is going to open any day now, because that's kind of how the society is rolling. We're heading right towards that. And also, I just had a look out of this room here, Wow. That is a grandiose structure if I have ever seen one. That is an upside-down fucking cathedral. I mean, not really. Well, that's right side up, but the floor is bottomless. So you could believe this is kind of the floor, or the that is interesting. We haven't had an environment this grandiose in a while. Welcome to the barely disguised fetish of the author. On this episode of Police Squad, the writer's barely disguised fetish. Chandelier Cathedral. Very interesting. But yeah, no, that's why Ventangle sucks, even though a lot of the ideas, like Barrier, for example, which is effectively hard shields from Brigador, is an interesting idea that I would like to actually backfit, you know, retrofit onto Necronica. Just burn all this fucking sex out of the situation as well. But Barrier being a resource that you have that basically says, this attack does not hit me, but you only have a set number of these per encounter, is an interesting way to design a character. And I call it the Sepulture, which is, if you know what that word means, the resting place of the dead. Meaning that the person that is generating all this barrier is effectively more machine than human, and I thought, kind of comically, it's the floating head museum from Futurama. It's Robot Nixon. That's what it is. It's fucking Robo Nixon. That's what your character is. Your character is Robo Nixon. You're your little girl head floating inside a jar that's on top of, like, a load lifter or some shit. You're fucking Robot Nixon. Mega Nixon 3000. Nixon's back! Basically. That's what that class is, basically. And the idea is that they're very durable, and they have, basically, the whole thing is they're incredibly fucking durable in combat, but of course, you are more machine than flesh, and that, you know, that kind of weighs on a person. However, you do get this bitchin' awesome shield generator that basically says, no, this fucking attack doesn't hit me, the end. And Barrier in Phontomen doesn't absorb or negate, or negate damage from attack. It basically says, you don't fucking hit me. So it is a different form of armor compared to the standard armor in Necronica, which is effectively a point system. If I have armor 2 and you hit me with an attack 3, the attack does 1 damage because the armor reduces it by 2 points. Barrier says this attack doesn't hit me at all. It doesn't matter how much damage it does, it doesn't fucking hit me. So, interesting. The thing is, though, you're only given a limited resources of this. They're basically effectively mulligans, but you only have a limited resource, and it's very hard to generate this resource unless you are the Sepulture class, which gains abilities, around abusing this, or rather making it more effective than other dolls could use this. This is kind of what the expansion pack is based around. Using that, plus the stealth mechanics, because they added stealth mechanics to Necronica and Phontomen, which is interesting. However, that requires an entirely new system to account for that and rules. This is effectively what the whole module was. And the third class that I was working on is kind of my own creation that isn't actually connected to Phontomen. I call the class Dynamo because that's kind of the idea. You gain madness points and then fire them out of a gun. Effectively. It's kind of like psychedelic, but probably more balanced and different. Because you need to ride the line of going insane to make your guns better. And it is somewhat based off of, well, the Psycho Blaster is a thing in Necronica. But it's also based on Space Adventure Cobra 2, because I watched that. The main character has a gun arm that is enhanced by the intensity of his emotions. Which, hey, the more fucking insane you are and you want to kill your enemy, the stronger the gun is. Wow. But again, riding the line of insanity. I need to generate madness in order to actually make my abilities more powerful. However, that means that I need to make myself insane to be stronger. And I have to actually account for that madness interacting with other fucking people. Because other people are nice and they may be worried about me, but however, they make me sane, so I have to keep them in arm's reach. No, I have to be angry. I need all of this contempt to kill people. Hey, wait a minute. We're playing a game where contempt actively is some sort of a boon. Wait a moment. It's dodge armor. Effectively, yeah, that's what Barrier is, but I like to imagine it as the hard shields from Brigador, because that's rad. Like, for example, using the whole Futurama Nixon's back thing, a stereotypical character for the Sepulture class would be a cute little girl's head bolted onto a mongoose. I'm cute and I'm a nice girl. I'm actually attached to a death machine, though. I would use my hands to love and care for you, but I don't have hands! They're machine guns! Ah! Thus the woes of a Sepulture. Also, Alcatraz from Crisis 2 is also a good example of a Sepulture. Because you're bolted into a machine, that machine is keeping you alive, and you need that machine to actually win. And hey! Jump pack! Oh, is that what that is? Oh, okay. So it's not actually something, it's not equipment, it's basically, that's how I do things. It's a jump pack that is the jump pad. Haha. Embraces you with machine guns. Yes, everyone like that. Imagine the team mom basically, yeah, you know, whatchamacallit, the giant miner suits from Signalis. Right? The giant miners and the huge fucking radiation suits that underneath are actually quite nice people. That thing. That, exactly. That is another example of a Sepulture. Where they, like, imagine if the team mom is basically just this inhuman killing machine. I want you to feel better because I care about you, but I'm only a giant killing machine. I'm going to hug you with my machine gun arms. The GM with any sort of fucking sense would say everybody loses a madness point for that. Everyone like that, TM. Hard suits from Section 8. That fucking name, that game again. Everyone bringing up that name again. I think I have to go back and look at that, because I might learn some things. Because Pop brought that up when I was talking about Starship Troopers Extermination and Neck Suits, and then... Yeah, no, that is a game about powered armor. Yeah. Best mom, Evangelion cooks you stew, loses 3 madness, yes. The killing machine is wearing an apron and baking you fucking cookies. Or is really trying to. Really, really desperately trying to. Again, but that's the kind of thing that makes Necronica good. It's that kind of... Aww, in the middle of all this fucking horrifying tragedy and apocalypse that makes that game... That's the thing! That's the whole point! That's what we're looking for! Those moments of humanity and endearment in the middle of all this horrifying chaos and destruction. That's why I play that stupid game. And I like to think that's the best part of it. Other people think it's, you know, a Guro Riona game, which is unfortunately somewhat accurate. And also, looking at Ventangle, that's kind of what the author intended, but that's not my Necronica, goddammit. I will give up the book to actually articulate something that is mine. And by God, it's gonna be adorable and good. But I suppose I've already done that. As much as I love using that term, I don't really use Necronica the book properly anyway, mainly because my style of doing this was developed off of not having the fully translated book. I had to make shit up as I went along. And that, plus my first experience with Necronica, and helping plan that Necronica campaign, I was actually kind of under the table helping the GM figure things out, because I was a wall to bounce ideas off of, kind of colored how I look at the system. And my Necronica is not actually Necronica, not at all. It's the same general idea, I suppose, but it's not necessarily, it's not a fucking Riona game. And I try my damnedest to legitimize everything about that game, even though that game does a terrible idea of legitimizing itself. In a lot of ways, though, most people already, like, wouldn't mind me saying this, but some people would be angry at me saying this. I'm the best goddamn salesman that game ever fucking had, by me running my mouth like this. And in fact, again, I will say this, me running my mouth about this is why we have a fully translated book. Even though certain people involved in that project hate me, and like to think, no, we did it all by ourselves. Which is arguably true. I didn't translate the book, but boy howdy did me running my mouth make that an interesting concept to do. So that's why I am responsible for that, or tangentially responsible. Other people did the work, however, those people wouldn't have done the work had I not been running my mouth, selling that game like nobody's business. And I still do it! Because it's fun. Add interruption. I desire to play Necronica one day. It's a very interesting system and also very, very unbalanced. The funny thing is, it's very easy to become completely, rendered combat ineffective in Necronica. However, it's very hard to actually die. Permadeath requires that your party lose the encounter, so everybody perma-dies and the game basically ends right there, or for your party to retreat from the encounter and leave you behind, which is actually kind of hard to do. So even if you're reduced to a pile of body parts and your party still wins the encounter, you're fine. It's odd like that. Okay, you know what? We're gonna need something more... oof. Because you need to die, and you need to stay dead. I desire to play your version of Necrotica one day. Maybe I'll work on a book that actually does that. The whole idea would be... The thing with my Necrotica is that it's not rooted to a specific setting, which is the difficult part. If you root yourself to a specific setting, that will give you more detailed ideas and, you know, establish limits and boundaries. My Necronica actually has no limits and boundaries because I simply take the idea and throw it into a random thing. Which is how most good GMs operate. Most people don't play, like, boxed retail settings and things like that. Most GMs just take a system and then make up their own shit about it, which is how I learned to actually do this sort of thing. So the problem with my Necronica is that I don't actually have a specific setting that ties to it. It's an amalgamation. It's the structure by which I form new ideas, but it's not inherently attached to any of those ideas. And in fact, the more ideas I come up with, the bigger the system gets. So it's kind of odd. In order to make that a polished and finished project, I gotta do some thinking. It's not GURPS. I suppose so. Maybe I should look at... I have never really looked at GURPS in detail, but that's kind of the same thing. It's a system of rules and an idea, but not necessarily a rigid setting or enforcement. It's a set of rules for undead zombies with attitude that have brain problems, I suppose. Undead anime children with attitude that have memory problems, which is effectively what Necrotica is if you just remove all of the lore, which isn't very good anyway. That's the thing, it's actually kind of tacky, as I found. I and several other people that I have played with, more than me, have made up way better ways to utilize Necronica than a Necronica setting in the book. It's interesting, however, it's definitely not what I do, or things that I have seen that I cherish. It's actually a really mediocre and kind of convoluted and not well done setting. So it really, I suppose it's just as well that we didn't have that back when I started looking at the system around, you know, 2013, 2014's abouts. Because we didn't have any of the lore. We didn't even have the boss, we didn't have the Necromancer minion part section done. We didn't even have that. We had to stat our enemies ourselves, basically. We had to basically work off of the player parts and create enemies based on that. We didn't have the part section at all. That wasn't translated. So we had no setting, and we had very few pieces to work with aside from just the character creation. And I've seen wonders done with it. Not necessarily just talking about my own work, because I'm obviously entertained by my own work, they're my own ideas. But grander than that, I've seen wonderful things done with it that are completely original ideas. And I hold a lot of these ideas very dear. Even though, unfortunately, because of certain things, I've never actually been in an Necrotica campaign that's actually finished. That's kind of sad, but none of these things finish. Many of the D&D settings have effectively been wholly abandoned. The Fallout 1 system, special system is GURPS with a serial number scratch-off. Yeah, that's basically what it is. It's not GURPS. That's how Fallout got its system. Just imagining this Space Marine talking to himself the entire time. Yep, I'm rambling madness about cute girls! Brother, wouldn't it be interesting if we had cute girls that were striving to survive in a horrible environment? Only girls? No, there can be guys too, I suppose. Wouldn't it be interesting and endearing, brother? I suppose, yes. Tell me more about these children. Well, they are undead. That is heretical, brother. Wait, no, I'm not finished. They also have mutant powers. That is, again, heretical, brother. Wait, let me finish! All of these ideas are heretical. No, I'll get to the part where it's okay, I swear. We're doing the barrel things again. Oh, God damn it. For the love of Christ. Of course. Problem. extreme problem. Ah, for the love of Christ. Oh, God damn it, Tiny Pete, not you two. I must go, and I hope he's really retarded. He won't actually. Yes, here we go. Ha ha! Got ya, nerd! Got him. Explosive barrels. The counter to Champions of Chaos. Again, bonehead strategies that work. I have been blessed by the forces of chaos to act as their weapon, their sword. You cannot defeat me. Throws a barrel of oil at them. I call this one the Exxon Valdez bang. I don't want to lose too much health here, though. That was somewhat unnecessary. I didn't need to kill him. However, the forces of chaos must be stamped out wherever they hide. Tell me more about these girls. Things that should not be taken out of context. However, you should really probably take Necronica out of context, because the context that Necronica exists in, it's not as good as the system could be. It doesn't inspire the feelings that I feel, mostly on its own. If you stare too hard, you start to realize that this is also the author's fetish in some ways as well, which isn't very good. Again, looking at Ventangle and looking back at Necronica, things make sense in very unfortunate ways. The people who write this they're really just bottoms that have a really odd fixation with being effectively dominated over by horrifying things. Yes, it's a sex thing. Which again, ew. Shit, you're ruining something that's actually good. It's not a sex thing to me, though, I can promise you that. That's not how this rolls. I did not think up the entire world of the Cervanish and Vasco d'Astia as a sex thing. I didn't get this detail just to do that, I promise. That is my earnest promise to you. What I've done since the beginning, and mainly because, I suppose it's mainly because, well, I don't really believe in my writing all that much sometimes. Or really at all. That's why I so relentlessly try to legitimize everything, because I have to make sure that everything is bulletproof, or at least as close to it. It's a very exhausting process, and typically, unfortunately, I don't really finish a lot, if anything. However, I need to do this, because if I don't legitimize things, things look very, very odd. And this is how you have ideas that have grown so mammoth in scale, but are still missing a lot of things, like the whole Servant and Bosch world. I used the Guro Lolicon Riona game to come up with an entire detailed, like, rundown of 2 different countries with 2 different mindsets, and come up with all this other shit to cram all these other interesting bits into. Oh, thank God. Jesus fucking Christ, I'm running out of hit points. I didn't do it as a sex thing, though. It just kind of meant, this is a very interesting shonen anime. That's kind of what it is, really. At the end of the day, if you had to actually put something on my work, it's basically all trying to be a shonen anime in some regard. It's a young people's journey through difficult things, where they eventually triumph. Unfortunately, this comes at great cost, or rather, has cost them already, by the whole dying thing, beforehand, about the whole, dying, unfulfilling deaths and having to come back later. They get a second chance, however, that means that you failed the first chance. And, upon recollection, you may not want to remember half of this shit. It may make things worse. Once again, you must drink from the river of Lethe in order to actually be reincarnated, because some things they stick with you. Some things you'd much rather forget. Some do it willingly. Others must see things done. However, Some things you learn, you kind of wish you maybe hadn't. And some things you despise, but you must find a way to see them done. You need goddamn closure, is my point. And remembering more of these things that you need closure about kind of makes your life very complicated. Even though without that, even if you simply forget the problem and walk away, that's also not exactly correct, is it? There are things and injustices done to you that you simply let go and are left undone. Granted, yes, if you drink from the river of Lethe and are reincarnated, you don't have to deal with those problems anymore, but is that really what you want to do? Is that really what you want to consciously do? Do you want to forget everything and move on? Or do you want vengeance? Do you want closure? Do you want to see these things that are bothering you completed appeasingly to you? Or do you want to run away? You mustn't run away, Shinji. You mustn't run away. It's my point. That's what I'm getting to. This is one of those things. Abandoning your problems doesn't necessarily fix the problems, even if you've got a magic river that makes you forget. I'm getting very obtuse with these metaphors, but you get what I'm getting at. You can forget and just go along, you know, with forgetting, or you can resist and make sure this shit gets done. And you leave this world on your terms. Also, Space Marine 2 looks like it's going to be the Tyranid invasion of Ultramar. Well, yeah, I saw Tyranids, but I didn't see anything else. I saw it's Tyranids now, that's what I got. Instead of orcs, it's fucking Tyranids now. It looks cool. The graphics have seen a nice facelift, but Space Marine wasn't really that bad looking of a game to begin with. So, once again, it's one of those things where, wow, a graphics update really, you know, does something, but it's really not that big of a deal. It's definitely more detailed, but also not to a degree that I'm amazingly moved by it. You've got the Melta, why not use it on the Terminators? Well, that's because I've been using the Melta on basically everything to the point where I don't even think I do have ammo. Wow. I didn't think I actually had ammo for the Melta left because I've been using it exactly to that purpose. I've been using the Melta on everything to the point where I run out of ammo. I didn't register that I picked up more ammo. I've been using the hot gun. I have been Jim Vulcan. So I kind of rotated out of it and forgot that I picked up more ammo because the last time I checked it, I didn't have any ammo. But there's more ammo even now. So now, this next encounter, I can just freely use the Melta gun to solve any problems. But we needn't be wasteful. This definitely looks like an arena I may pass through again at some point. Or, there it is. It looked like an arena. I was wondering when it was gonna become one, and then it did. The moment I thought that, it did. Oh no! Oh no! Dear God, it's the fucking Enchanter again! God damn it, I'm all out of Melta. I do have a Void Grenade, though. I thought it was just gonna be random chaos things, but no, it's just the boss. Oh no. Oh, I'm gonna die here. I'm going to die here. I made a whoops. Ah. Where the fuck are you, shitter? Where did he go? Oh, there he is. Eat vacuum, bitch! I have precious little time here. Oh boy, this is gonna be close. Oh boy, this is gonna be close. Oh wait, no, I have more Melta. Good. I have to get more hit points to get. Nope. Damn it. Okay, now that I know what I'm dealing with, That's the first actual legitimate death in combat this entire game. Whoops, I didn't notice the fucking sorcerer was here, but now we have waves. This entire encounter is just him. Suck on that, bitch. Ah, yes. Get back here, you schmuck! Ah, there he is. Yes! Jim Vulcan does it again! Ooh. Oh no! Oh no! He's still alive! Go get him, ma'am. And now we enter Chapter 3. There's just something nice about this drone that we have. It's very good in a Doom way, but this dirge that we have as our theme and like level complete theme is just good. Kitchen melt up. Jim Vulcan does it again. However, I think we're going to be calling it a night here because it's damn near 11 o'clock and I need to keep some kind of sleeping schedule. We have a lot to do this week. A lot to do this week. When its physical body is destroyed, a daemon is banished back to the warp. Yes, we've been doing a lot of that with the Meltagun, but that damn fucking sorcerer won't quit. But yes, the only household your clan and or family unit needs, the Meltagun. Buy yours now. Would you like to know more? But okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think we are going to call it now because I've been sitting here for like 4 hours rambling about fucking campaign ideas and not really playing the game. I thought I was almost done with this chapter, but that was the end of the chapter. Next time, we will have Chapter 3. However, we have a lot to do this week, and at the end of the week, on the 3rd, we're going to be hosting a Starship Troopers Extermination event where we try to get as many people in the room as possible and try and beat hard mode. Hopefully we have 16 people, so we don't have to deal with any public players. Hopefully. Should be a good night regardless, though, because that's a good game. We've also got a lot of things to worry about now. Limbus Company Season 2 is beginning, so I actually have to get back into the game and continue grinding for the few remaining things that I have left. I need to get Bug Greg before he is disappeared. I got Ardor Blossom Star the other night, randomly, because I just happened to get just enough ego shards for it. But, yeah, we need to get Bug Greg, because Bug Greg's one of the things that's being removed. I don't know about Warpum or Salt, but Bug Greg is actually being removed. So we need to actually get on that one. I'll see you next time, folks. We've got a lot to do aside from that, but until next time, folks, I've been your host, Phontomen. Good night and enjoy the rest of your evening. We will see you next time. I've said that for the 3rd time. I'm going now. Good night. This is now officially called Ramble Gun.